are live with Discover South Carolina. Our entire day today here at Homemade is in partnership and being taken over by South Carolinian chefs, friends from South Carolina, celebrating this unbelievable part of the country that is so rich in history and in culture, but even more so, the food traditions. And we're going to be just diving headfirst into those food traditions. We flew in 3 chefs that are South Carolina chef ambassadors. You guys are kind of traveling the country and just spreading the good word about how amazing the food tradition is right over there. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And we're joined here with Chef Darren Smith from Conway, South Carolina, and you're going to teach us an amazing quail dish. Before we do, I just want to say this is live. I want to say it again and again, and if you've joined us, if you're one of the millions in our community, welcome back. And if this is your first time, what that means is that you can interact with us. So you can actually go in the chat, you can talk to Chef Darren, you can talk to me, and the way you do that is you just write in the chat to Mary, who is our producer. Mary, what is up?
What is up? Happy Discover South Carolina Takeover Day. It smells amazing in here. Welcome, everybody.
It's amazing. Have you been, Mary, or no, to South Carolina?
Okay, I have not, but I know people who have, and now all I've been doing is eating all of their food. So I'm about to go.
Yeah, so I used to live in New York, and we would just take a little plane flight down to South Carolina, and we'd go to Charleston, to the surrounding areas. I met a lot of amazing chefs, but I walked away with just like cooking in South Carolina is ingrained in the culture. There's places you go in the country, and it's just not so much. There's really rare little pockets, and in South Carolina, it's one of those places where you almost feel like you can't have a bad meal. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much to offer in
Yes.
each geographical location, from Charleston to the upstate and where we're located. There's just so many good farmers, fishermen,
Yes.
artisans, resurrecting quality, the rice that we're using.
Yes.
Honey, I mean, it's just phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. Heirloom grains, like it just goes on, and people don't realize this is the birthplace of barbecue, people, okay? There's unbelievable seafood, 187 miles of coastline. So they know their oyster, they know their crab, and we're not doing seafood today. We're going to do quail. Why did you do quail for today?
It's one of my favorite birds.
Yeah.
I've been using Manchester Farms out of Columbia, which is about 2 hours from Conway, for a very long time. They're gorgeous birds.
They're gorgeous.
They've been around for over 50 years, second generation, female owned. The birds are hormone and antibiotic free.
Love it.
They're pretty much bone. They got the wing bones and the leg bones. It's the perfect cavity to stuff, which leads us to this.
They're also like the perfect portion size, and I think, I know, because we talked to a lot of home cooks, no one cooks quail. Like, let's just be real. It's kind of like thought of as chefy, it's thought of as restauranty. We got to get behind quail because it is so sustainable to support this. It's so delicious, and it's like that single portion and really easy to cook. So we're making a South Carolina faux pho.
Faux pho, our southern riff on that, yes.
This is a lacquered quail with a basil-peach tea. By the way, sweet tea originated from South Carolina. I just learned that.
That's right.
I love it. All right, so what is first step here, Chef Darren?
First step, we want to cook the rice.
Okay.
So we have White House Farms rice.
Yeah.
This is grown out of Georgetown.
So this is like local to South Carolina.
Local to South Carolina, about 40 minutes south of my restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, there's been a resurgence of rice and grit producers across the state, really, but definitely down in our neck of the woods. These are some of my favorite. They also do rice midlands that you could do like a grit risotto. They do a Charleston gold rice, and this is just aromatic and delicious.
I can already smell it. You know how I like jasmine rice at home? You guys know, but this is unique. And again, this is another reason why do you want to travel to South Carolina and try. I mean, this is rice in your backyard. So what do we already have going in the pan?
We've got some oyster mushrooms and some sweet onions.
Okay, just kind of rendered out, just really softly
rendered
caramelized.
down, softened down, just nice.
Okay.
So then we'll add our rice.
Go for it. Why do we do this? Why do we toast the rice and all this stuff?
Well, I think cooking it in the fat kind of coats it.
Yes.
And especially if you like making a risotto to hold the grain separate, yet cooked.
Yeah, it's
and
like
we do the same process.
If Chef Darren and I were a grain of rice and we didn't do this, we'd just like stick together, which I think we'd like. I think we'd have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, just for a minute, you guys. Just for a
but
minute.
when you toast it, they stay individual. They wear that jacket, they slide off each other, and you get that twosome kind of al dente vibe. Now, how did you start cooking? Like, how did you fall into the kitchen?
Oh, well, went to college for soccer and realized that wasn't going to be a career. My brother was a chef, and he just sung the praises of doing just this, being passionate about something, pleasing people, just that whole mindset. You'll always eat.
Yes.
Usually some pretty good-looking waitresses at a restaurant that you're working at. And that worked for me. That's how I met my wife. And we're still together.
Wait, she was a waitress at a restaurant that you worked at?
Yep. I was running a restaurant in Charleston, and she graduated College of Charleston with a finance degree.
Oh, I love that.
And we met and fell in love and got married and opened a couple of restaurants.
Yeah, and you guys are in Conway, which looks adorable. And you guys have 3 restaurants there?
2.
2. What are the
We
2
got more
restaurants?
on the way. We're Rivertown Bistro is sort of our higher end local fish, this type of dish.
Yeah.
And then we have a barbecue joint. You mentioned barbecue.
Yeah.
That's Bonfire, which is right on the historic Waccamaw River.
What makes South Carolina barbecue different than like if I went to Texas or Alabama or any of that?
Well, I think a lot of places are so focused on a certain sauce or a certain cut of meat.
Okay.
And South Carolina, as far as I'm concerned, is a melting pot for that. At my restaurant, we do everything, whole birds, butts. I would love to do whole hog, but we're just not set up to do that.
It's a lot of space.
It's a lot of space, but we do brisket as well, and then we offer up a myriad of sauces too. So, your mustard, which is kind of Carolina inspired.
I love the Carolina Gold sauce.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, delicious.
So tangy and delicious. Yes,
Yeah, but
I love it.
we do all the, a Texas red, a vinegar pepper, and then a sweet heat with chipotle and local honey.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. All right, so the rice is toasted.
So we're toasted. We can add the liquid.
We can
That's
add
just
the liquid.
water.
This is just water.
We've already got some chicken powder in there and some salt and pepper.
Chicken powder, I love it. AKA MSG.
That's
love
right.
it.
That's right.
All right, we
We'll
put
give
this
that a
on.
stir.
So when you cook rice at home, you guys, the biggest thing is bring it to a boil, turn it way down, and it will just steam. I think people are intimidated to cook rice. Is there any tricks that you have?
My biggest thing is just that, to have the right water ratio.
Yeah.
And this White House Farms is actually a little different. When you think rice, it's 2 parts water, 1 part rice. Theirs, you need a little less hydration or it gets a little gummy.
Yeah.
We want a little gummy for this dish so it cleans together with the addition of the egg.
Yeah.
But it's important to know that ratio for the White House Farms.
I love it.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like with the mushrooms and everything. You want to hold that just for camera for Richard?
For sure.
So that's just what it looks like, kind of nice and fluffy. Looks amazing. And this is going to be a stuffing for the quail. And I want to call out again, if you don't have a quail, Chef Darren, can we use this for a chicken or for a guinea hen?
Completely.
Okay.
Completely. Any other protein that you have.
Okay.
Yeah, it would work fine.
Okay.
You could even wrap a flounder fish around it.
Well, that sounds actually really good, like stuff a fish.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Mary, I want to check in with you. We're going to move this over here so we can get a good look at it. Anything from the chat that's coming through that we should be...
Yeah. Well, this is the first of our 3-class marathon today, so folks are just starting to tune in. We have some people that are from the Carolinas in the chat.
Of course,
it's very
I
cute.
love it.
Donna says Conway's not too far from her. She's in South Carolina.
Where? Which part?
Sorry, Donna from North Carolina says Conway's not too far from her.
Okay.
So she says hi. And let's see, I'm asking everyone in the chat, who has cooked quail? I'm so curious.
Yeah.
When I will be tasting this will be sort of my first bite of quail of 2025. Let's say that.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about this
I love it. Well, we've got the quail already laid out kind of on a little rack here. You're going to show us how to stuff it.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, so as a binder, we're going to put 1 egg in.
Yeah, and this just helps when it cooks. It kind of just brings everything together, right, Chef?
That's correct. It's a good binding agent.
Yep. And then you got an orange. You want me to zest this puppy?
Yeah, if you'll zest a good bit of that orange.
I love this idea.
Hey.
Whenever you have rich meat of any sort, everyone at home, adding a little bit of citrus zest anywhere, in the sauce, in the stuffing, on the rub, it just kind of brightens it. So this is genius. This is always so smart.
That's
looks
smelling
incredible.
so good
I know,
already.
It smells so good. All right, so we've got the stuffing. That looks incredible.
Yeah, and these are our beautiful birds, right? So like I said, this is Manchester Farms, which these are available here in the Pacific Northwest.
Really?
I know you probably have other sources, but the girls that own Manchester Farms let me know that it is available here.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
Fresh and frozen, actually. So this is the bird, this is the breast.
Yeah.
This is the leg thigh.
Yeah.
And in between the legs is the natural place to stuff.
Okay.
The meat that you see here is the actual breast meat.
Okay.
So what I like to do is just get a nice little portion.
Yeah. You made that look very easy.
Well, I've been doing it a long time.
Has this been on the menu for a long time?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's on the menu right now.
Really?
On a little different setup. It's over cream corn with the same honey with some black garlic made into a glaze. But here you have it. Okay, so it's stuffed.
Yes.
Right?
It's beautiful.
It's plump. It's not overstuffed.
Yeah.
I kind of cross the legs here.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to, you could skewer this flat behind with one of these skewers.
Yeah. You want one of these?
Yeah, just like that.
I feel like scalpel. There you go,
There
doctor.
you go.
Yeah.
All the way through.
This is just some light surgery. Scalpel.
I know.
Really is
oh,
that.
I
Right.
love that. Look how pretty that looks.
Nice.
Easy. And you kind of keep it flat
Yep.
so it really roasts evenly.
Just like that. We're going to heavily season it with salt and pepper, and we're going to fire that into a high temp oven, about 450 degrees.
All right, South Carolina quail versus Pacific Northwesterner chef. Let's go, baby. All right, I'm going to try and do this. Ready?
Let's do it.
So I'm going to flip it, or I'm just going to kind of open it up.
Open it up.
Yep. Take some of this beautiful Carolina rice mixture.
Yep.
Right in. Not overly stuff it. I always do this. I overstuff things. Is that about right?
I do
Maybe
just a
little
pinch more. Yeah.
Pinch more. Okay. Pinch more.
Looking good.
Okay. And then kind of flatten it out.
Yep.
Cool. And then cross these like this.
That's how I do it.
Okay. And then grab one of those skewers.
And then as this is roasting, these legs are going to pop out a little bit. It's still going to stay closed most of the way because we haven't overstuffed it. And then as we're lacquering it with our next step, we know that we can torch it. And that's how we're going to get some real good color as well.
Is this passable?
It's beautiful.
I mean, Chef Darren, let's go. Do you say beautiful? I get chills.
I think
I
it's
love
great.
it.
I think it's great.
That makes me so. All right, let's do a couple more for those at home. Why don't you do this one and I'll do this one?
Okay.
So when you, because native to South Carolina or no? Where did you grow
Born
up?
and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah, my dad was in the service. He was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in Charleston when I was born. We traveled around a bit. We lived in Virginia and England and Tennessee some. But then we landed back in Charleston. And that's why I love it. You know, born and raised. I love Charleston. I love South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously home for you, but what is it, I don't know, what does it make you feel and what does South Carolina kind of bring to you in your life?
Well, I've always been proud of South Carolina. I like all the sort of the geography, the topography as you travel from the coast on up into the mountains. It feels like we really have it all.
Yes, you
But
do.
you can look at this array of food. You know, it looks very exotic, and maybe it is to some people, but this was all procured within 2 hours from my restaurant, and it's grown and done on the daily basis, and this is what we eat.
This is how it's I mean, this is not just, you know, restaurant food. This is the way that people eat.
That's right.
And I love that. And I think, I don't know, me personally as a chef, when you travel the country, too many times you go to a place in the country and it tastes like every other place in the country. South Carolina is not like that. When you land in South Carolina, there's a smell in the air. When you sit down at a restaurant, you're like, this is unfamiliar. It's very unique. If you were totally blindfolded and you landed in South Carolina and you were familiar with South Carolina, you would know you're home. And if you were unfamiliar with South Carolina, you'd think you're on a different planet because it really does have its own unique kind of culinary traditions.
It most certainly does.
Which is amazing. I love it. All right, so we're stuffing these last couple. Let's just do them.
Let's do it.
Why not? We're here. I
feel
want to
like
roast them up. We've got a crowd here. We got to feed.
We do have a crowd, and they do look hungry.
It looks amazing. And then in terms of being the chef ambassador, have you been kind of talking on behalf of South Carolina? Like, what's been kind of your role with that?
Completely. It is, like you said, to travel, to share the good word of South Carolina, not only as a state, but a destination for travel, and talk about the agriculture, the farming, the sustainability. Everything that we have going on there is just fantastic. And this Chef Ambassador program, I think it's unique to our state, but it's just been phenomenal to meet with the other chefs. We're traveling around and get to know them and their background and our cooking styles. It's been real cool.
Unbelievable.
Hey, chefs, I have a surprise. The first surprise is, could we shift a little bit more to the center of our island?
Yes.
Because someone's daughter is actually in the chat. And Joel has 2 sons, so I just wonder who that could be. Sophia says, "Go, Dad! Sending love from Bistro. We love you."
Honey. So glad you're here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
love it.
All caps even. Thanks, Sophia.
That's amazing. Did we get a good close up of that? Your dad's
God,
quail?
those are
That looks
gorgeous.
incredible.
Look what your dad just did.
I love it. And by the way, stuffing those, I don't know how old's your daughter?
She's 20.
Okay. All right. She's older, but like I've got a 6-year-old. He could do that. And
nice.
Completely, yeah.
Anyone could do that. That was really easy, really nice. It's kind of like making ravioli, sitting around and gossiping and talking and just doing what families do. So like I could just sit there for hours doing that. All right, so what's next step with this, chef?
We salt and pepper these heavily.
All right, when you say heavily, show me heavily. Don't you dare go shy here at the homemade kit. Yes, yes. It's a man who knows his salt and
That's
pepper.
right, that's right.
People just don't do it enough. They don't realize that it's very difficult to salt inside the quail and get that. So you almost have to kind of over-season the outside. I'll do the same thing
You
with
do the
pepper.
pepper, exact
Tell me
same.
if I'm about, yeah?
Yeah.
About there?
Perfecto.
Yeah. You kind of, and this kind of builds a crust.
That's right. We're going to roast it in a nice high temperature,
Yeah.
about 450 degrees.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, in the restaurant setting, we can like grill these
Yeah.
to get some marks or saute it. Today, we're just going to fire them in the oven. We're going to lacquer it with our next step, this local honey
Yeah.
and peach vinegar type thing.
I love it.
And then we can brulee it with a torch to make sure they're nice and caramelized.
All right, I'm going to pop them in. You wash your hands. I'll take care of this. While this is happening, I want to know from you, Chef Darren, if out-of-towners come in, because when out-of-towners come to Seattle, I get hit up every week. And they're like, where do I go to eat? Where should I go? Where do you tell people to go in South Carolina? Like, do you tell them to come to Conway? Do you tell them there's certain cities they got to go to? Where do you tell them to kind of get that full South Carolina experience?
Well, I'm very proud of Conway.
Yeah.
I've been there. We opened in '94. So Rivertown Bistro, my wife and I opened in, like I said, '94. So we've been there 31 years.
Nice. Oh my
So we've
gosh.
established ourselves. It's
amazing.
destination dining, but still casual. So I'm very proud of it. But then, hell, I mean, across the state are delicious dining destinations. Both of my ambassadors represent their areas with phenomenal restaurants. And I'll let them tell you their story. But, you know, Charleston, Greenville, Columbia, there's just little hotbeds of killer restaurants all over the state.
Yeah.
We have a
Unbelievable.
question from the chat, in fact. Ruby's asking, when is your favorite time to visit? Well, you live there. But what is your favorite time
That's a
to
good
visit
question.
South
Yeah.
Carolina?
Probably not right now. where
Okay,
it's
sure, maybe a
literally
little warm,
1,000
sure.
degrees. I would say a little further on in the year.
Sure,
Fall
fall.
is a great time.
Always.
Conway has renamed itself the town of Halloween in October.
Really?
And they pull out all the stops. It's like a little Norman Rockwell town. They'll
Cute.
put up witches' cauldrons and statuary and hanging bats, and the whole town comes alive with that. If that's your thing or not, it's still really
I mean,
cool.
you'll be seeing me there.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be going.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
And also, just Chef Darren, you have such a following. Haley says, sending love from Bonfire, and that everyone is so proud of you.
Oh, those are my girls.
And Pam says, that's my bestie.
Yep.
He's my new bestie. Sorry. All right. So just want to recap. We took quail. We cooked off some rice with a little bit of mushroom and caramelized onion. This is local Carolina rice. We let that cool. Little orange zest, little egg. We made a little mixture. We stuffed it, roasted it at about 425. We're gonna let that do. Now we've got some honey. This is local Carolina honey that's boiling over. Is that okay? That's boiling over.
It's perfect right there.
Okay. Okay.
Now we can add our other ingredients.
So what are
though.
we making here?
This is what I call a lacquer. It's
lacquer.
a nice glaze to put over the quail.
Okay.
And we're going to baste it on. But what we can do is go ahead and tamp that down a little bit. This is some peach vinegar.
Peach vinegar?
Uh-huh.
You get that
give
in
a
South
little-
Carolina? Yeah.
There are some sources. This one actually came from Georgia, I
Oh
believe.
my! What?
Isn't that killer?
What? I need a straw. Anyone have a straw? This is insane. Oh my gosh.
So we put it in there, and then we have some
That's really good.
local bourbon out of Myrtle Beach.
Oh, you guys are making
Scofflaw.
bourbon over there,
Yeah,
okay.
there's the bottle right over there. Doc Scofflaw, 1228 Distillery.
Wow, it's
So we're going to
gorgeous.
put that in there for the alcohol to dissipate.
Okay.
I can go ahead and put in the shallot as
Yeah,
well,
just
because
add a
this is
little
going to
bit.
simmer down. This alcohol is going to cook out.
Okay.
It's going to get a really nice sheen.
It smells insane.
Yeah, and it's going to get some good viscosity. We're going to let that go 3 or 4 minutes
Okay.
more, and then we're going to add some peeled and minced ginger root,
Yeah.
cardamom, one of my favorite spices, kind of citrusy, kind of woodsy, almost like a floral thyme.
Yeah.
And then Chinese 5-spice, which is
Unbelievable.
a fairly exotic ingredient for this dish, but I think it gives that nuance, like, what am I tasting?
Yeah.
You know, and it goes so well with the peach, the citrus, the bourbon, and the honey.
And you're probably wondering at home, like, why would I make a lacquer? What is a lacquer? And so how would you describe it to like a home cook? Why do they care about this?
Turn that down.
Yeah, there you
just
go.
right here.
Yeah.
So instead of just pouring honey or a spiced honey over the bird and it just completely falls off, it's stickier.
Yes.
So it lacquers it, just like a piece of furniture. You know, you have a viscous stain or whatever, it would hold on to it a lot better. So this is not going to be as liquidy. We're going to reduce it down until it'll make that glaze. And you know, if you let it cool just a minute before you eat it, you get that stickiness on your fingers.
It's like jam.
Yeah.
And I think at home, the way to kind of think about this is it's like paint. This is like when you're, I don't know, roasting your Thanksgiving bird, whether you're putting a big roast on for everyone, maybe you're making a beautiful pork chop. You can paint this on at kind of the end or put it under the broiler. It would also be amazing on a piece of fish, I think.
100%.
Yeah, and it caramelizes on top, making it really brown and unctuous and beautiful. And so this is something that I think a lot of home cooks don't do, is make a lacquer. A lot of pro chefs do, and you wonder why their food tastes so good. It's because of things like this. So make this, try it. This is specific to South Carolina, and it is like, I can already just, the peach vinegar.
Yeah, the peach vinegar is all the way back at the chat
on.
moderation station.
Like
it's so good.
Insanity. All right, so that's kind of cooking down. We're going to add some spices to that. Now, we're making a pho, which is like pho is the Vietnamese soup. What's the inspiration behind this?
It's a play on words. I don't know.
I love it.
I love noodle dishes. I love
Me
brothy
too.
food. When we were thinking about making this dish, we were actually going to a food festival in Charleston, and we were talking about going to the Charleston tea plantation down there. My wife loves that tea. And I thought, you know, they do that peach one. Maybe we could do a tea for this dish.
Yeah.
But I didn't want just that flavor profile. So then I'm like, well, let's add some aromatics. Let's do the caramelized onion in there and steep a bunch of fresh basil in the tea.
Just to bring some brightness to it?
Exactly. So it's a nice broth. Rice replaces the traditional noodle. We've got some beautiful vegetables that it'll rest on, and then some awesome garnishes that we'll talk about when we get there.
Yeah, I love it. And so, you know, for those of you who don't know, pho, again, that Vietnamese kind of rice noodle dish. This is your take on it, kind of spiked. It just, by the way, does everyone in South Carolina just drink tea 24/7?
Sweet tea is pretty
So it's
predominant.
sweet tea.
So most people drink sweet tea.
In other parts of the country, it's just tea?
Yes.
I'm a northern boy. You got to explain this to me. This is like a new language. Yes.
And for some reason, if you drink tea that's not sweet, it's called unsweet tea. So you have to
Okay.
ask for that.
Okay.
Which seemed, why not just ask for tea? But I don't make up the rules. So
I
that's
love
a
it.
clash
But-
of
but
cultures
when we're
here.
in South Carolina, it's sweet tea, which is the way I like it. All right, so what's in this pot already happening, Chef Darren?
We've got chicken powder, the caramelized onions, water, a few other ingredients. We're going to place the peachy peach tea bags in it and
Okay.
some basil leaves to let that simmer for about 4 minutes. But right now, we can go ahead and
Yeah.
put that into our lacquer.
All right, so again, ginger, cardamom, allspice? What do we got?
Chinese 5-spice.
Chinese spice. All right, going in. All right, so that's going in. I'll do that. You do that. Show us what we can
Yes,
do next
yes.
here. All right, so we've got, this is local Carolina peach tea.
Yeah,
Okay, love it.
these are really cool.
So you just open them up. Are we doing all four?
All four.
All right, all four. You never really think about like putting like tea in your cooking. I don't know. I don't do that enough. Am
well-
I just throwing this in?
How cool is that?
I mean, it's gorgeous.
And smell it.
Peaches are huge in South Carolina, yes?
Yeah. We grow more peaches than Georgia,
What?
I believe. Yeah, for real. How good
Confirmed?
is
Is that confirmed? I'm looking at our discoveries. I love that. That's crazy. We're an apple place over here, so peaches is really refreshing. This smells so floral and different. I love it. All right, so those are going in, and those are just going to steep for about 4 minutes. We're basically just making tea.
Yeah, and we've reduced down a second. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more liquid, and then we're going to pump up the heat.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, we're going to make
So
it
we have a
extra
couple
brothy.
questions in
Yeah,
the
hit
chat
it.
about our ingredients. This is just such a gorgeous and ingredient-forward dish. So could OXO be used for chicken powder?
OXO?
Ruby, could you say more about what you mean by OXO?
Do you know what OXO means?
I'm not sure.
Let's
We're
all
learning.
learn today.
We're learning.
And then separately, in terms of, we have two chefs in the kitchen, we got to ask, when you have a new brand of rice, how do you find out the ratio of water and rice?
It'll
Great.
say on the bag,
It'll say on the bag, people,
or you can Google it.
or Google it.
Or
Thank you.
ChatGPT it.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
lots of ways to find things.
Or fake it till you make it. One of the three.
All right, so you're just adding this basil. That's so interesting. I've never seen this technique.
Neither have I. Just kidding. We've made this dish a bunch, actually, me and my wife. And we had this as special at Bistro. And it did really, really well. So we're kind of pleased with it.
I love it.
And can we pump up the heat on that just a minute?
Yeah. All the way up high?
Yep.
You got it. All right, we'll let that kind of boil away. So while that's going, just to kind of recap, because we got some elements, quail stuffed in the oven, lacquer cooking down, probably another couple minutes on that.
Yes, sir.
All right, and it will end up looking like this, so we'll hit it. And then we made this unbelievable broth with Carolina sweet tea, basil, caramelized onions. So now we're kind of talking about these garnishes. Can we just hold this up? And Richard, can you get a close shot? Because a lot of these are South Carolina local ingredients. And I think it's just like the most beautiful plate. Yeah, just hold that there for a sec. So all point, you tell me what we got here. So what's this?
Marigold, tangerine marigold.
Tangerine marigold.
These are sunflower shoots, the actual sprout of a sunflower plant.
Okay, these.
Popcorn shoots, the sprout of a corn plant.
Interesting. All right, this I know some people know, but what is this?
This is okra.
Okay.
And we've split them and we've done a hard sear on them, so it's not giving you that slimy texture that some people hate about okra.
I do not like that about okra.
Yeah.
And then this.
Jalapenos to garnish.
Jalapenos, some good sweet corn.
Roasted sweet corn, already cooked, and then mint and basil leaves.
Crazy.
These will all be served on the side, except we're going to take the okra, the corn, and then we have these two things, Joel. Boiled peanuts.
You said boiled peanuts?
Boiled peanuts.
Okay.
So
I got to
this-
get the accent going today.
Yes, just say it real slow. Yeah.
Boiled peanuts.
There you go.
Got it.
Peanuts. These are not a tree nut, right? These grow in the ground. This
Really?
is a southern delicacy. These boil for a long time. You usually find them.
Wait, hold on. I'm having a moment.
Okay, good.
My knees just buckled. This is a thing? Mm-hmm. Boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts.
So you take peanuts and you just boil the heck out of them.
Yes, and you can get dry or green peanuts that are in their husk.
These are so good.
Aren't they delicious?
They're
That-
so good.
That's peanut cooked with water, and I shucked them. So
Oh my gosh.
usually at farmers markets, that's another thing about South Carolina. There's a guy boiling peanuts at one of the stalls as you walk by, so
Really?
you can get these already done instead of cooking them for 4 or 5
I would travel to
hours.
South Carolina just for these. These are insane.
It's fantastic.
They just explode.
We can turn that off
Okay,
and just
got it.
let that steep a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
And another thing of the South, anybody that knows me knows I love field peas of any kind, but these are like gold to me. These are called white acre field peas. I don't cook them with any bacon product, just a little bit of chicken broth,
Come on.
and they're just phenomenal.
These are ingredients as a chef. This for a living, I think about food that I'm not really familiar with. Like I don't boil peanuts all the time. I don't know what field peas are. And when you eat them, they're so different. This is incredibly light and kind of vegetally and just they're honest like a pops in your mouth. Like they're really buttery and just unbelievable. And these are the types of things that when you travel or when you meet interesting people, and obviously we brought South Carolina homemade today, but you can go to South Carolina, experience this. It's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
This is what I'm talking about. When you land in South Carolina, it is like landing in a different place. It's like going abroad because, I don't know, a lot of people don't use these ingredients. This is awesome.
Right.
I mean, I
Joel?
love it.
Right, and as a chef, it's fun to explore and to figure out why these are so different, or why you cook most peas and beans in the South. We cook with a ham hock or some
Yeah.
fatback or some type of
Something
bacony,
smoky, yeah.
and it adds deliciousness. Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Most of my peas and beans, I do that with lima beans. But for these, the first time I ate them was my mother-in-law cooked them, and she served them with rice, which I thought was
Like mix
delicious.
them into the rice or on top?
Afterwards, you
Okay.
kind of pour them on top of your
Okay.
pile of rice and stir them. But my favorite way to eat these, if it's not in this dish, is on some Yukon Gold buttery whipped potatoes, and then pour those right on, and just little flecks of flavor.
Sounds so.
So
I'm gonna
that's good.
cry.
I'm like, you're gonna make
This
him
sounds
cry.
so good.
Joel,
Mary, I know you had a question.
Yeah, if I were to tell you that Chef Darren rolled up with a cooler with his own Tupperware of those 2 items that you
Yes.
just freaked out about, that is the most chefly thing that has happened.
Right?
It's so sweet. You'd show up with some
you had
Tupperware
to check
too.
those on the plane.
Yeah.
Those field
I
peas.
checked these on the plane.
So
on.
cute.
And the quail eggs and the quail.
Oh,
My
just
girl
all
from
of it.
Manchester brought them down to me the day before we flew out.
We are so lucky.
I really want to see the guy who, like, has to check your luggage and be like, "Are you okay, man? Like, what's going on? Like, do you need help?" You're just a traveling chef spreading the good word. All right. So at this point, it's been about 4 minutes on this broth. So what's next step? Are we straining?
We're going to strain into the beaker.
All right. You want to hold and I'll strain?
Uh-huh.
So we got a beaker here. So really simple, guys. Again, the tea leaves are in here, the basil, and we're just kind of straining everything out, just making this really bright, beautiful broth. God, it smells intoxicating.
Doesn't it smell good?
It smells better than good. This is, when I travel to South Carolina, I would just kind of jet down there with my wife. And when you sit down, whether it's at a restaurant or a friend's house, this type of cooking is like home. Like you think about comfort cooking, it doesn't have to be heavy or cheesy. Comfort cooking to me is something that feels like a hug. South Carolina cooking and this type of broth and this type of, it literally is the most comforting, beautiful, nourishing food on earth. All right, so broth is done, and I just want to call out the lacquer is really, really cooked down. So I just want to get that off our plate and just show you guys. This is what it looks like when it kind of cooks down. Richard, maybe I'll bring it over. Yeah, right there. Is that good? And I just want to hold it up so you guys can see. Once it cools, Chef Darren kind of mentioned it's kind of like jam. So this is honey and spices. This is local Carolina honey and spices. So I'm going to leave the lacquer over here.
So delicious.
We got our broth over here, and now we're going to do a little sauté.
Yeah, we're going to warm all of our ingredients for the quail to rest on in the bowl.
So no oil.
We could have added oil, but there was some residual liquid from the peanut.
Oh, great.
And a little bit of liquid from my white acres. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Keep in mind, all these have been cooked and roasted. And I was going to talk further about okra. You know, some people just say they don't care for it.
Yes.
They've had it stewed down without a high heat sear or some acidity added, and that's what stops that sliminess.
I've had it where it's slimy. And
Right.
so, I'm just doing it wrong, basically.
Well, some people like that. And in
Really?
a gumbo or a stew with gumbo filet and the okra, that kind of binds with the dark roux. But in this respect, we did a hard sear on it, and then we don't have that.
I love it. Okra is something I never cook. All three of these ingredients I never cook, but when I have it, I'm obsessed with it.
Right.
I'm like, why don't I use this enough? All right, then we got some sweet corn. Now, corn is huge in South Carolina, right?
Huge, yes.
But not just the fresh corn. You know, we're talking dried corn. Then heirloom, you were talking about kind of purveyors. People are growing new varieties of corn, right?
That's right, all the time. And corn is so ingrained in our society. Cornbread, cornmeal fried okra.
Yes.
Bourbon is made with
Yes,
corn
yes,
mash.
totally.
I mean, it just speaks to me. Popcorn, corn on the cob, street corn. I mean, there's just every direction you can go. It's such a versatile vegetable, and it's one of my favorite for sure.
Unbelievable.
All right, so these are the last of the garnishes that we'll add to the broth as you wish.
Okay.
This will go into our bowls, and you tell me about us plating.
Are we in a good place to plate? I love it.
guess
Should we check our quail?
Yes, and we should glaze it.
All right, let's do that. So I'm going to grab the quail out. You guys remember that we popped this in a long time ago. I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes ago. I'll bring it over to camera so
They
people
look
can
gorgeous.
see. They do. They look beautiful.
Yeah, right
Richard,
for the
can you get in
overhead
close
there.
over here?
That's perfect, Joel. Thank
Yeah,
you.
beautiful. All right, so at this point, are they cooked or not
They're
yet?
cooked. I think we glaze this and we torch it.
Okay.
Okay,
We
as
have
we're
a torch.
prepping this, we have so many questions. People said, okay, 2 chefs in the kitchen. We have questions for both of them.
Of course, that's
so
how it works.
Let's talk peanuts because duh. What type of peanut, Chef Darren, is your favorite to use in cooking? Spanish Red, Valencia, or Virginia?
Whoa.
Virginia,
Whoa.
Well, that was easy.
Wait, why? I want to know why.
because that is close to South Carolina.
There we go. There we go. That's what we like to
On the
hear.
spot.
The best peanut is the closest peanut to you.
Yes.
Let's keep it that way. And then we are stuck on the consumer friendly nature of chicken powder. If you're walking into the grocery store and you need chicken powder, where are you going, Darren?
You could buy chicken bouillon too.
Yes.
Bouillon cubes work, people.
Would
Sorry,
they
I didn't
work?
know the OXO brand.
Bouillon is back.
Bouillon is back for
Like
sure.
hardcore. People don't realize that, but chefs, I have a big jar of it inside my fridge. Just adding a tablespoon to like a cup of liquid makes a huge difference in the umami, the richness, right? I mean,
Completely.
yeah.
I
it's a
also
total
like
game
to
changer.
sprinkle it on places where you wouldn't want added liquid, like a
Yes.
stir fry.
Yes.
To get that
Oh.
salty roundness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
use
know
it.
what
People
I'm
are
doing
always like,
later.
what did you do to this? And you know,
Yeah.
but they don't know.
Never
It's the
tell.
secret. It's the secret.
Shrug. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so we lacquered this. We put that kind of jammy, unbelievable honey mixture on. Now we're going to torch it. I want to call it out right now. If you don't have a torch, can we do this another way?
Broil it under your salamander
Perfect.
in the oven.
Okay, turn on the broil function in your oven, put them under there. But we're going to torch it because we're doing TV and we got a chef. Let's go, baby.
I've never used this torch.
Oh, you want me to help you? Here you go.
Easy
Okay,
enough.
easy
Okay.
enough.
You want to start high.
Okay. Oh my gosh, get out of here. If you want to know how to survive in the restaurant business for over 30 years, this is how.
MacGyver.
Unbelievable. Pure genuineness and unbelievable technique. Look at that. Look at it puff up the skin there.
Yep. Caramelizing. You can smell that caramelization.
Can we get a top down, Richard?
Oh
Come
my
on.
goodness gracious.
Doesn't that look insane? Oh my gosh, that's just going to add just a little bit of texture and just kind of get that crack. It's almost like crackling. No?
Yeah, you hear it?
It's unreal. I love it. Insane. By the way, I can't believe I can't let go of, because I can still smell the vinegar, that you guys are the top producers of peaches. So are peaches just in everything right now in South Carolina?
All over the place.
It's in everything.
Dessert menus, savory
Yep,
drinks.
Yep. I love it. I could live off peaches.
Jessica in the chat says, "Great job, Chef Darren. We love you here in South Carolina."
Thank you.
As he
love
sort
you
of
You guys have a
torches
pretty
his quail.
amazing chef
Thank you.
ambassador. This guy's awesome. This looks incredible. It's almost like a little creme brulee.
Yeah, for sure.
Smells. I just wish I could describe you guys the smell. There's obviously a little bit of smokiness from the fatty kind of quail skin that's just getting caramelized, but then you get this like floral honey hit, and then the cardamom just kind of on the back, because cardamom's so pronounced. This is just unbelievable.
I feel same.
Do they look right, Chef? Do these look like home to you?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I love it.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Plate me up.
Let's do
Show me
this.
South Carolina in a bowl.
Okay.
Oh my
And
gosh,
gentlemen,
I'm
if
so
we could move
excited.
things just slightly towards the center of the island,
Right over here?
sort of closer, even closer to you, Joel, would be
Okay.
great.
Yeah. Let me move the quail.
Want to do it here?
Is that
Sure,
good?
perfect.
One last step.
Less place for the quail to
Chef
travel.
knife?
They just get plopped
Yeah.
right
Chef
on.
knife. Chef knife. Chef knife. We might need to fly one in. Actually, is there one behind me? Nope. We'll fly one in.
We'll grab one for you right now.
Yep.
So, question about the okra. When we slice this okra, do we have to, in order to make it not so slimy, do you pat it dry beforehand? We have folks in the chat asking.
Do we do what?
Do you pat it dry
Pat it
before?
dry.
Yes, patting it dry would not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't season it.
Got
I cut
it.
it lengthwise.
Got
and then
it.
I put it into a very hot pan or a very hot char grill.
Okay.
Or into a very hot oven cut side up.
Okay, guys, that is the anti-slime okra right there.
If you want to divide a little bit of broth in each
Sure.
one.
Yeah. Go with a little broth. Totally evenly, like pour it all.
That's good.
Yeah. Rich, are you able to get a top down of this? Like insanity. I'm going to kind of move these a little bit more centered, because I just think that
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, that looks great.
I want you guys to see
Perfect.
the full effect here. All right. So we got a little bit of the broth on the bottom. Man, this looks insanity. And then we boiled some boiled some quail eggs. Boiled.
Yeah,
Boiled.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is fun too. Quail eggs. These have a 120-day shelf life.
What?
They do.
Really?
They've been mildly pasteurized.
Huh.
These are kosher, and these are halal certified.
You got to add that in there. Yeah.
I asked her to give me a lot of information about these because I didn't know any of that. So now I sound brilliant. I do know this. A test pilot, we tried poaching the egg in the broth, and it just looked like sheared egg. It didn't have the presence that we wanted. And then we boiled them at 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. They were all good, but 3 minutes left this unctuous, cheesy-like yolk. Okay, so now, if you want, you can pull picks out of some of those quail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sophia
You got it.
says, "Dad, I hope you know I want this for dinner when you get home."
Done.
Yeah. Sophie's making demands at this point. I love it. That looks insane.
So this is our little perch.
Yep. And you want me to just put one right
We
on
can
top?
plop one on, or we can cut it in half.
No, we're going one. Are you
I
kidding?
love that.
Come on. That looks insane. Like
This is some gorgeous plating, you two. This is
beautiful. I mean,
Joel's almost near tears. I
I'm
need everyone to
losing
be
my
so
mind
for
over
real.
here. Losing my mind. All right, I'm just going to shadow you on this one. So just kind of dot it around.
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
And then, have you ever had a corn shoot? You
I don't
tried
think I
you
have
tried
had
some of
it.
the other stuff.
I don't
This is
think I have.
this.
Okay.
So to me it replaces like a mung bean sprout. In
Oh,
this
yeah,
dish,
yeah.
And they're local. They grow just for me.
Oh. Oh, those are
Sweet.
so nice.
Beany, sweet, earthy.
Whoa. The finish. What? Those aren't like doused in sugar?
No,
They're what?
it makes you think that, but no.
They're when he says sweet, it's not like, oh, they're sweet. It's like dessert. This
Yeah.
is like
No.
dessert. I could easily chew on this and like I'm good for the night. Holy.
And the sunflower
Wow.
shoots.
Yeah, and the sunflower shoots is another one I've never had.
Let's lacquer a little bit more on
those are
there,
great.
just for a little clinginess.
Which
And
one?
then we'll doctor it
A
up.
little bit more lacquer?
Yeah.
Okay, as we're lacquering, Mark is asking, where do we source pasteurized quail eggs? These sound so cool.
I was told locally, out here, Pacific Northwest.
Oh,
But Google Manchester Farms. I think
Uh-huh.
all the Costco's carry them.
uh-huh. I've seen that label.
Love it. Yeah.
That was awkward.
Gorgeous work,
Beautiful.
Darren. Ready for TV. Thank you.
All right. So now our popcorn shoots right on top. A little bit. Okay.
A couple of jalapeno slices.
This is so cool. I know this looks crazy, guys, at home. Like, just make one element of this. Just roast the quail. Just make the broth. And if you're able to and you want a project, do it all because it will be worth it. But this is, I mean, this is the real deal.
Some tangerine marigold. Pretty.
Really pretty. I mean, I'm just
Some
in
fresh
it.
mint leaves.
Joel's having so much fun right
Dude,
now.
I feel like I'm in the middle of the best science project of my life. This is awesome. How's it look?
I would eat it.
Can we just pause and cry? Like, I don't know what happens at this point. No one touched this. No one touched this. No, I want to hold one up here. Definitely Chef Darren's. And hopefully, Richard, yeah, I'll hold it up here to the sky so you can see that. And then let me bring it right over here, Richard, and just see if you can kind of snag that kind of visual. Tough to tip because of the broth, but it is absolutely,
It's a good sideways view.
it's stunning.
Yes.
It's absolutely stunning. Do you want to grab a couple? Do we do forks, knives, spoons, or all the above?
I definitely think knife, fork, and spoon.
Okay,
So,
as
and
we
straw.
grab,
Trifecta here. You want to grab a couple there?
Yep.
Joel,
Let's
are
just
you
try it
ready for as we're grabbing these? Do you? I'm going to tell you something. There's going to be a before and after you know this
I'm so
information.
scared. Tell me.
Darren, is it true that South Carolinians put boiled peanuts in their Coca-Cola?
I did not know that. I know people do Spanish peanuts and M&Ms with peanuts.
Oh, gorgeous. I think Kinja in the chat was saying that she loves to put her boiled peanuts in her Coca-Cola.
So she boils them in the Coca-Cola.
Wait, Kinja, I need you to correct me. I think I might be saying this wrong. Are you boiling it
Hey,
in
I think it's
Coca-Cola or are you
possible. What?
putting
It's
it
possible.
in your Coca-Cola? Let us know.
All right, I'm getting in there while she's coming back to me. I got some broth.
Okay, the first tastes. Give us your honest thoughts, gentlemen. Just two guys giggling? Are we joking? Okay,
It's
cut the
pretty
Don't look at me.
broadcast.
Don't look at me. Too many people like, what? Did just go into my mouth. It just transforms you. I don't know what it is so unbelievably complex, yet it is so familiar, and it just feels really just round, balanced. The broth itself is some of the best I've ever had, and I'll tell you, a lot of broths are really heavy. They kind of stick to the roof of your mouth. This is light because of that Carolina peach tea.
Yep.
It's floral, and it's just not too overpowering. And then, I mean, this is like candy.
Yes.
It's like a lollipop. I
Yes.
mean, this quail, the quail itself, not gamey at all. And this kind of lacquer, this local honey that I brought from Carolina is just, it's everything.
Okay, Kinja got back to me. Thank goodness for this live chat.
Yes.
She said we plop boiled peanuts into a glass bottle of Coke.
Oh
I mean,
my
glass bottle of
God.
Coke too. That's so huge. That's
Right
part
on.
of it.
You got to do you. I am doing me. This is one of the best bites we've ever had here at Homemade.
I really appreciate that.
And you are such a sweet, amazing guy. And I know this is just true of so many people in South Carolina. Thank you, Chef Darren, for stopping by, for bringing a lot of this here. for sharing this dish with us and sharing just a piece, just a small slice of South Carolina. Any last words from you, my man?
Joe, I appreciate it. I think the three of us ambassadors thought we were bringing Southern hospitality to y'all, and I think we did. But I didn't realize the Seattle hospitality that we would receive back.
I'll take it.
And we're loving every second of it.
Thank you, buddy.
May never go back.
I love it.
Yes,
Well,
yeah,
we are live all day here in South Carolina. Stick around because we have Chef Jeanne coming up next. Watch this video, hang out, go use the restroom, do what you need to do, take a brief intermission. We'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes with a new dish, a new chef, but way more South Carolina. See you soon.
Being a chef ambassador has been great. We've really enjoyed getting to show the rest of the state what we're doing here in Greenville, South Carolina. The Food Hub does a lot for our community in the sense that it creates a place for farmers to really drop their goods, then takes everything, stickers it, pushes it out to the community, takes it to restaurants, and provides a fair chance for these goods to be sold. It's really great for the grocery and cafe because we're getting a lot of items that might have been picked from the ground that morning, making our vegetables and produce the freshest you can get here in South Carolina.
Swamp Rabbit changed our farm. It brought the consistency of movement of the product, which drove the demand to have animals processed. Come on, girls. Come here. Come on. When we was working with the stockyard only, the fluctuation was crazy. I mean, cattle could be up 100% from the year previous. With us working with Swamp Rabbit, our prices have stayed pretty well the same. We want anyone that wants a local product to be able to afford it.
When we started out with Swamp Rabbit, we were maybe taking 100 pounds of meat a week, and we have grown with them. They have grown so much and added so much and expanded, and we've also grown with them. So now we're taking about 1.5 to 2 cows per week to them.
You know, her dad's 70, her grandfather's 90, and she's watched them commit their entire life to this property. And I've been around now 16 years, and I've watched them two work this land and make it what it is. So it's only right that I make sure to pull my weight and raise Gunner to pull his weight, because the land and the farm doesn't pay for itself just sitting here. You got to work it. They're doing good, though. They look good. They do.
When the owners first opened, it was really just intended to be a grocery, I think, at first, and then it really caught on to the community, and so I think the community wanted more from Swamp. People coming off the trail would come in and say, like, what do you guys have to eat? So Mary, one of the owners, was like, well, hold on a second, I'll be right back, you know, and she comes forth with the first Stecca bread sandwich, and it was loved from the first moment. You know, they went from making 20 to 40 to 60 loaves at a time to now 1,200 to 2,000 loaves on the weekend. People are still coming off the trail for it today. We try and utilize as much waste as we possibly can. So we've gone ahead and peeled a bunch of carrots and we've used in other applications. And then we're gonna take all of this and turn it into broth. Other things that we use sometimes, herbs that are just like the stems and stuff, just to pull the last of the season out of them, since this is an herbed bone broth. So we have about a pound of rosemary and about a pound of thyme, bring out the flavor of the beef and make the sandwich just a little bit different. Can't have an herb your enthusiasm sandwich without any herbs. The name came before the sandwich, actually. Kind of made sense to me to have a sandwich, but also utilize some part of waste of the animal to really highlight what these guys are doing on the farm. One of the things Travis and Misty and myself have really tried to do is get to a point where we're using tail to nose on 3 cows about a week. We buy a lot of ground beef, can utilize a lot of just random cuts, and then the bones, which is a big part of their waste. And so they always love when we're able to grab a ton of bones. So this is a great way to highlight that and have you guys really enjoy some of the waste as well. What makes us all humble and happy is our families, and so giving ourselves enough time to grow with our families as well as grow within Swamp has been really something I've never found in any other part of the industry.
On Wednesdays when we're prepping for you guys, Everybody's, the guys, the girls, everybody's like,
Now,
whoa.
what are they doing?
What do they need this week? I'm like, you don't want to know.
What kind of sandwich are we gonna do next?
I don't know. You tell me.
It feels great to be a South Carolina chef ambassador, and to be able to represent it is such a big honor. So we're in Park Circle, North Charleston right now. This past 2 years, it's really starting to feel like home. I love this neighborhood. It's very much family oriented. It's very walkable, so it takes me 5 minutes to walk to work every day, and I think that's really, really nice. I met Nathan first time, gosh, like almost 10 years ago, when we used to have a food truck called Short Grain. And I think he dropped by for some sample eggs, and this very quirky, unique person, just full of personality. I don't know, I think we just clicked. We weren't using local eggs yet. For some reason, he's just very persuasive. Ended up being like good friends, and I've been buying eggs from Nathan since, I think 2015.
Part of the romantic notion is the self-sufficiency, but that's a fallacy. There is no self-sufficiency. We're all interdependent. So that was one of the big early lessons in farming. I've leaned into that over the years and tried to be as much of a part of the community in the Lowcountry as possible. Jeanne did not realize when she married someone from the US that she was going to come over here and work not just as hard as her farmer parents, but harder.
After putting this up, I will open the gate. How about that?
It's our job to set them up for success, give them all the forage, all the nutrients that they need to produce well and live a happy, healthy life. So that's where the forage and the feed comes in. And once the forage is gone and they've laid enough manure to stimulate growth, it's time to move them to the next quarter acre and set up a new paddock of netting. It's going to be a healthier animal with a healthier egg and healthier soils that are going to get better iteratively year in and year out. So that we leave the land better than we found it. We leave the community of egg eaters healthier than we found them. Chef Shuai likes large and extra large, so we're going to try and set those aside for him, keep him happy. When we found out that they were opening up a restaurant, we were super excited to team up with them and serve their restaurant as well. And then anything we can do to continue that relationship with all their future endeavors is exciting for us.
I was raised by my grandmother. I always liked my grandma's cooking. That was my earliest memories. All the little flavors. Back in China, when I was still living there, it was still rations. So a steam egg consists of eggs and water, and half of it is water. So you can be able to stretch a couple of eggs out to feed your whole family, basically. There's many ways to make steam egg, especially garnishing. There's such a versatile dish that you can just kind of garnish it however you like, which is also one of my favorite parts about the steam egg. Very basic method of cooking steamed egg is obviously steaming. You want to get the steam as hot as possible. You really don't want to slow cook on these eggs. You want a really nice hot steam to kind of, there it goes. When you put the food down, people have that first bite, and you can see their eyes light up and a smile get on their face. I think that's the most important part about cooking and serving food, is that it makes everyone very happy. Think about like the Charleston food scene right now, like how much have evolved and
Be more sustainable, keeps the money in the local food hubs.
yeah,
Feeds their family something delicious and wholesome.
for sure. There's a lot of umami. Just have that instant spark, look at that reaction. You can see it in their eyes. That's when it lights up. It makes me very happy because it just reminds me of my grandma. She's one of my favorite person in the whole entire world. And when I serve things like this, I just hope that it makes her proud.
My first real memory of food and fresh food would be at my grandfather's. He took me out to a cornfield, pretty cool. We just walked down row after row, and he really wanted me to try his Silver Queen corn. So he snapped some off the stalk, ripped the husk back, and we stood right there just eating it right off the cob. I'm like, wow, that's why do we even cook this?
Dad.
Hey, Poggy.
What you doing?
Coming up with the corn dish. Got some real pretty corn from Richard, and I thought we would do a corn pudding. I just wasn't sure really how to plate that on a dish, so I thought about a ham to wheel. Luckily, my buddy Richard's an excellent farmer. Been doing grits with him for 12 years, cornmeal, honey. He grows just all kinds of wonderful things out there. That spawned a great relationship, and he's not only my farmer, but a good buddy.
I'm 10th generation farmer. Try to diversify as time goes on, and we farm corn, soybeans, wheat. Me and my father farmed it along together. Now I run all the row crops and the custom spreading, and he runs stocker calves. And our daughter and son has also got stocker calves for the first time this past fall, and they're looking at buying some more right now.
I fell in love with somebody who absolutely loved agriculture. And because I loved him so much and he was so passionate about everything that he did, it became a passion of mine. And then of course when we had kids, we want that legacy to continue. We want to still be able to farm here in Horry County and just be able to serve the community.
To me, it's being able to plant a seed and watch it grow. So I like to try something and see how it's going to work, and it's the challenge behind it to see if I can make that corn better than it was last year. It's all about efficiency and what you do to put back what you've taken away, and how you take your product and move it down the line, just like what we take our pork and send it to Darren, because our feed for our pork, we grow everything that our hogs eat, we grind it. The leftover from the grinding shed, when I make the grits and the cornmeal, you've got the hominy and the leftovers, it goes straight into the feed channel, goes straight to my hogs.
I love going to Darren's and just knowing that, you know, our name's on the menu. You know, knowing that what we put all of our heart and soul in, other people can enjoy. It blesses my heart on a daily basis.
I'm fortunate enough to live 10 minutes from my restaurants. I walk there every morning to start my day. We have the Waccamaw River running through the town, and we're grounded here in this historical area. The food scene in Conway is skyrocketing. I opened 31 years ago. We've seen some restaurants come and go, but now Conway's really in its heyday. So this is where Richard Corn is just gonna rule the plate. And you're shucking that, and I'm gonna start cutting some off the cob. And I have a trick using our torch that we burn the rest of that silt off of there. And we're getting all that little good seed and corn liquid out of there. And that's gonna come in real handy as far as flavor. I appreciate your help.
Of course.
I will see you over at Richard's tonight at 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. problem a lot of people have when they're making corn fritters is you end up with a pancake studded with corn. And I wanted a real good corn fritter. And if you're getting good, delicious, in-season sweet corn, why not showcase that? Corn in every way imaginable. We have about 80% of our product comes from the state of South Carolina, which I think is really important. I've been dealing with my farmer, Richard Floyd, for 12 years now. He and I have had a working relationship that has built into a friendship for over a decade. So relationships like that really matter to me with local farmers, artisans, fishmongers. They in turn bring their families to eat dinner here. I love being a South Carolina chef ambassador. The people we've met with the same passions and just expressing our culture and cooking styles across the state. It's just been phenomenal. Love the connections that we're making. We've known each other so long, started off just buying grits and then cornmeal and pigs and honey, and I don't know where it's going to end, but this sweet corn is just phenomenal.
That's right. And it's good to be able to provide to chefs what they want, because this is the way we eat every day, and we can provide that for a restaurant to be able to serve it to other people. I love it.
Cheers to this wonderful evening, friends that have turned into family, delicious cuisine from our farmer friend Richard, and all of us that enjoy each other on a daily basis.
I think it's Landry approved.
Thanks, man.
What's up, everybody? We continue to be live celebrating all things South Carolina today. They are taking over Homemade, and we couldn't be more happy. We just whipped up the most amazing kind of peach vinegar lacquered quail with Chef Darren. He was amazing, and now we continue to be live with amazing chefs from South Carolina, and we brought in Chef Jeanne Koenigsberg, and you are the general manager of Swamp Rabbit. What is Swamp Rabbit?
Swamp Rabbit is the coolest grocery store you will ever go in. We support local 100%. If it's not local, it's organic.
Okay.
And we just rise up those farmers as best as we can, as much as we can. And
Dude, this is the place where if I'm flying into South Carolina, I get off the flight and I sprint to a place like, I haven't been here. I haven't been to Swamp Rabbit, but the way that you're describing it, local grocer, unbelievable local goods, incredible. I do want to call out before we dive deep into this, this is live, so if you want to talk to Chef Jeanne or talk to me, you can do it with our buddy and producer, Mary. Mary, are you still there?
Oh, I'm still here. Hey, so my stomach's going to be growling all day.
I know,
I am
here.
so excited for this one because we're diving into the world of seafood.
Yes.
We just did quail.
I know.
Here we are with shrimp.
Well, that's the thing. It's the mountains, it's the coast, it's everything in South Carolina. And so are you, first, just give us a little background, born and bred or no?
Nope. Born and bred in Florida.
Okay. What brought you to South Carolina?
So honestly, the mountains. My husband and I were getting married, and he was like, I want to move out west and go see the mountains. And I was like, hold on. We're not leaving the family high and dry. We're gonna move up to the Blue Ridge, and we're gonna set up a home, and we're gonna go from there. And that's what we've done.
How long ago was that?
So that was about 8 years ago.
Wow.
I've been with Swamp about 2 years. And yeah, just on that mission to, buy as much local and source as much local and just sell these products these farmers put their lives into. So
And
it's important
would
to
you
us.
say moving to South Carolina, this is asking for a friend. Now, I love Seattle, but moving there, easy to integrate, people cool, what's the culture vibe like?
Yeah, it's cool. Everybody's really outdoorsy. It's very family focused. And so the whole town kind of runs off of the trail, the Swamp Rabbit Trail, which is where we get our name. And it runs from one point of the city to the other. And Swamp is just a really great destination along the way for people to stop and load up on their groceries, get maybe a quick snack from our cafe, grab a coffee to keep moving. We do a full line of pastries, stuff like that. So
how much
we have
bread
all
you say you
kinds of
baked?
offerings. On the weekends, we're up to about 1,800 loaves on a Saturday. We feed also to market for that.
What are you, feeding all of Greenville? What's going on?
Yeah, bring it. Let's go.
Everyone just that's the kitchen. So tell me about Greenville, because I've never been. I don't know. Tell us in the chat if you've been. I've heard it is insane. It's incredible.
Yeah, the food scene is really taking off, and we'd like to say we've been a big piece of that. We have a food hub, which is a way for farmers to sell their goods to us, and then we push them out through to other restaurants. So we're our own vendor as well. When it comes to produce through town. And yeah, we're doing it. We are.
You're doing it hard. I'm
Hey,
really stoked about it. Yeah, Mary.
Chefs, could we have you guys scoot just to the center of the
Yeah,
thing just
yeah,
a
a
little
little bit
bit?
more. Yep, everyone's
And
gotta
also, we have some people from Swamp actually in the chat.
Yeah,
And
Swamp!
Rachel
Hey, who?
says,
Who
hey, sending love from Swamp, from Rachel. So sweet.
Nice.
I
Great.
love it.
What's
I
up,
love
guys?
it.
Thanks for holding down the fort.
I'm coming to visit. You better be ready. I'll eat all 1,800 loaves. Get them all going. All right. Well, today we're going to make this Hurricane Creek hoe cake, which I have a lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
And then jerk shrimp peach salsa.
Yeah.
All of that sounds like it needs to happen inside my mouth immediately.
Let's do it then.
It sounds incredible. So what is a hoe cake?
A hoe cake is kind of a glorified pancake. It's very humble.
Love.
Back in the day, people would come in off the farm and they'd literally take their hoe and they would heat it up, put a little fat on it, drop whatever cornmeal they had left over from their rations, maybe a little sugar if they were feeling crazy, and make a hoe cake.
Yeah.
And so it's a vessel that can really have anything on it. So today we are doing jerk shrimp. And some peaches just to highlight some of the summer produce that we have literally flowing through us right now. So yeah.
I love it. And if you don't have time at home to make cornbread and that's your thing, bust out a hoe cake.
Yeah, it's quick bread.
It's so quick. It's so easy. All right, what's the first step here?
All right, the first step is we are going to put some half and half into our blender.
Okay, cool.
As soon as I figure out how to open it.
Rip it, girl.
There
you
it
go.
is.
Yep.
I'll leave my gentle behind. So we're going to put half of our half and half into here.
Okay. Half of the half and half.
And then I have some corn and some garlic kind of set aside.
So we're back to the corn, and I know today we're talking all things South Carolina. Corn is just so celebrated there.
It is. Yeah, so there's a lot of different people messing with corn and growing corn in South Carolina. We have a lot of great mills.
I love that you say messing with corn. It's so true, though, because it's like...
There's so many things you can do.
Well, I think that like so many places could just be like, it's corn is corn is corn. But in South Carolina, they're experimenting. You guys are experimenting with new varietals, new heirlooms, old, new. What can you're into the different types of popcorn. Like, it's not just a grit is a grit is a grit. There's new types coming out all the time.
Well, and a lot of farmers are reverting back to the old types, and they're going heirloom, like you said, which has been really cool to see some of the varietals kind of pop back up. And
so cool.
Some of these farmers are literally putting their lives into like this strand that they believe in from that maybe their family used way back when, and it's really, really neat.
That's trippy. Okay, so we got corn and garlic.
We got corn up in here. We got some garlic in here. We got some half and half in here. We're gonna get it moving.
Okay.
And so this is just to kind of like incorporate some of the corn flavor into it.
Okay.
And so we do still have some corn over here that we'll fold in.
Okay.
We got all of our dry ingredients ready to go. We got some flour, we got some sugar, we got some baking powder, we got some of that great Hurricane Creek cornmeal.
Can we hold that up? Where is that? Where's that package? Did we get rid of it? Oh, yeah.
This guy right here.
Is this the Hurricane Creek stuff?
That's it. That's the one.
So I could go to Swamp and buy this?
You can. We sell their grits also. And then we actually have a whole grits program that we do. And so we do cheesy grits. Some people might say they're the best grits you've ever had. Maybe just a vessel for the cheese.
Stop the cheesy
Joel and I
grits.
just made eye contact and our mouths fell open.
I want a face plant in cheesy grits. I know I'd have to go to the hospital afterwards, but I love when it's cooked right, slow, seasoned beautifully. And so, like, what is the flavor profile of this cornmeal versus others?
It's a little sweeter. I find the yellow as well lends to sweetness. And yeah, it's just a really great product. We sell a bunch of different ones, but Hurricane Creek, for whatever reason, has my heart. They grow their own corn. It's all non-GMO. They're milling their own corn. They've been around for ages. And like I said, we've been linked up with them since we opened.
All right, I'm stealing this. All right, what is next step? Yeah.
All right, so we got all our dry ingredients in here. Like I said, cornmeal, flour, a little bit of salt, some sugar, a little active ingredients with some baking powder just to make it a little bit fluffy.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and dump in this corn, garlic, half and half mixture.
You guys, we're making a savory pancake right now. Like, let's just call a spade, but it's more firm, it's more sweet, more complex. Yeah. I love it.
All right, so we're throwing that in there.
Okay.
Drop this back
so you're not,
here.
Why not just throw everything into the blender? Not to overmix
this will
it?
kind of, keep it a little fluffier, overmixing so it doesn't get so dense.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and throw our corn in here as well.
Love that you're adding the fresh corn in there, too.
Yes, it gives it a little textural.
Chef Jeanne, white or yellow corn?
Yellow corn all day
Yellow corn.
long.
Yellow corn.
Yellow all day. No, we love white corn, too, but different, right?
Yes.
Where would you use white versus yellow corn?
I don't use a lot of white corn.
Okay, so white's out. No,
but I mean, that's just a preference. I like the color of it. I think it adds to dishes and things like that.
Yeah.
But white corn is just as delicious, and there's so many varietals that are honestly just as sweet.
Yeah, I get it.
Roasted red pepper, another great summer ingredient that we do a lot of local this time of year. And so just kind of a fun thing. And really, you can throw anything you want in here. It is just a vessel. So maybe you want to put bacon in there.
Yes.
Maybe you want to put some scallions in there. Maybe change up the herb situation.
Chef Darren got me on the okra
You can literally
kick.
do anything. And so, again, customize this. Make it your own. Whatever you have sitting around. That's what makes dishes fun and I think easier for your guests at your party or whatever you're doing, more interested in what you're doing.
I love it.
So we're throwing this guy in here.
Idea. Okay. That looks gorgeous.
There we go. And so we got everything in there.
Yep.
I'm gonna mix this up, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more half and half just to get to the right consistency.
Are you doing it to eye, or like are you?
I do.
It?
I mean, at home, I don't really measure this. I kind of just pour it until you get to the right consistency. It's just like making pancakes. You've made them so many times with your kids on a Saturday morning.
Totally.
That you can really just throw it together, and you know when it's right.
Way too many times.
We did put a recipe together for those that might be a little scared of it.
I appreciate it. Do you have kids?
I have one 6-year-old.
Yes,
Shout him out.
Yeah, what's his name?
His name's Clay David. And he's
David,
he's our joy.
What's up, buddy? You got to meet Jonah. He's 6'2".
Yeah, the kids really keep us out of trouble. So
they really do.
Yeah.
But they also put us into trouble.
So he would be standing right beside me on his little stool right now, probably helping mix this up. He really enjoys getting in the kitchen, and we're trying to pique his interest in cooking just enough, but not enough to keep him in it full time.
the chef life can be a little difficult. So.
I love it. I love it. And so what is it like raising kids over in South Carolina? Like when is there a lot of activities for the kids to do? Like what's the vibe like?
Greenville is totally so family oriented. Every weekend there's so much to do with kids. There's parks just strewn all throughout. We have state parks. Paris Mountain is one of our spots
Yeah, I heard
to go
that camping
to.
is crazy.
Camping can be crazy if you're into that sort of thing.
Yes.
I'm a glamper personally, but
beyond. Yeah. We're all like,
where's my RV? Or I'm not going.
I love it.
Yeah, I gotta have a place to cook.
But incredible hikes, unbelievable rivers.
Absolutely.
Just like it's so diverse over there.
It is, and Greenville's in the upstate area, which is a lot closer to North Carolina. We'll mention them just this once.
You dare. Yeah.
So we do have some mountainous terrain, it's beautiful. We get a little bit of breeze coming through every once in a while, but it's been pretty swampy recently. So
I love it.
Glad to be in Seattle.
That's summer. All right, so we've got this mixture going.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of throw this to the side. So kind of what's gonna happen here is the cornmeal is gonna soak up all that goodness, and so it's not quite so dry. Again, looking for a really tender hoe cake. So
yeah, so here's the deal, guys. At home, you're gonna be like, I can skip that step. Let's get cooking on the hoe cake.
No way.
Do not skip
Don't
it.
do it.
You gotta let that corn just kind of just drink all that beautifulness. Now, I do have a question for you.
Have another glass of wine while you wait.
This is a chef question, which is like 9 out of 10 times in my pancakes, I add a little fat in there, maybe a little butter or something. Do we do that, or do you don't need that for that?
You can. With this one, it's pretty simple. Every once in a while, I will add like a little oil. Like if I get to where I'm going to cook and I notice it's still a little thick, I'll add a little bit of oil.
Just for tenderness.
Rather than like kind of configuring half and half, getting it back out of the fridge, whatever. So again, it's definitely a very feel thing, very organic.
Yeah,
that's how cooking should be.
Yeah, and look how much Chef Jeanne kind of left in here, right? So you're really just looking in Seattle. This is the way it turned out. Maybe in Greenville, it's going to be a little different. That is cooking. That is everything.
Yep.
All right, so that's hanging tight. We made that beautiful mixture. We're going to now make a salsa.
Yeah, but first we're gonna marinate these shrimp up really quickly.
Let's do it.
And then we should be able to go right into our salsa.
Now, shrimp is huge in South Carolina.
Shrimp is so huge.
If there was like one protein that is South Carolina, would it be shrimp?
I think so, personally.
Yeah?
These are white shrimp, which South Carolina is one of the biggest producers of. These are coming from Charleston. And, shrimp are kind of cool from the standpoint of they're all categorized by numbers. And so a lot of times in stores, you'll see shrimp 1620s, 12s, and all of that has to do with how many shrimp you get per pound.
Yes.
So when you're going to have a dinner party and you're like, man, I don't know how many shrimp to get, go to the numbers.
Yep.
If you get 12 per pound, and you're feeding 12 people, you're going to want 3 or 4 pounds. You want everybody to have 3 or 4 shrimp.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of my aim and just a little tidbit of information for those home cooks.
So a Carolina shrimp, like flavor profile wise, like what is it bringing that other shrimp isn't?
Yeah, so I find white shrimp to be a little sweeter. It has a little bit of saltiness to it, but it's going to be your standard shrimp. And honestly, a lot of people, this is what they're using when they are getting shrimp that is from the United States. So.
Yeah, they don't realize it, but they're going to South Carolina.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
So how do we handle these puppies?
Awesome. So some of these are already kind of cleaned and deveined for us. So we'll start with one of these here that's not.
Okay.
I like to use a fork.
Okay.
I kind of jam one of the tongs into the shrimp, kind of pull up, and that's going to pull some of your shell off. And then I break it right at the tail.
I'm so into this right now.
And
I don't think I've
then
ever seen this technique.
I just kind of pull the little
veiny guy out.
vein out of there, and that's that.
By the way, don't freak out about the vein, okay? I'm so tired of people being like, I don't do the shrimp because the vein. Get out of here. You can eat the vein. It's totally fine. We devein it because you can. But don't let that stand in the way of you cooking more shrimp at home, especially this amazing sweet Carolina shrimp. So just kind of...
You can kind of rinse them, too, to get the vein out of there if you are a little scared. But once you do it a couple times, you realize it's not going to hurt you.
The fork thing is amazing because it makes it go really quickly.
I like it a lot.
You're leaving the tail, and I got to do that. So in with the small tong here, up, just kind of pull up.
There you go. That's it.
And then are you using the shells for anything in the restaurant?
So we are very sustainable, so we really try and use all of our waste somewhere. And so I would save them, make some sort of a shrimp stock, use them in a dish, maybe for a special event.
Cook your rice and shrimp stock. That Carolina Gold, oh my gosh, that would be incredible.
We don't use a lot of seafood in our facility, but when we do, we go all out and we use it all.
I love it. All right, so we've got some peeled and deveined ones here, and then we're going to marinate it up.
Yeah, we're just going to put a little oil in here.
Okay, I can kind of massage.
All right.
I'm a good shrimp massager.
All right.
That's amazing.
For some jerk seasoning in there,
Now,
I I have
Hit
some
me.
Spice Walla. These guys are doing the Lord's work. They are really making great spice seasonings for the home cooks, but also they're available for a lot of restaurants too, and so they're great.
These look insane.
Speaking of home cooks, there's a little lady in the chat named Judy. I think that's your mom.
It is.
She says,
Aw.
"Hi, I'm
What's up,
watching
Mom?
your Greenville." So cute.
I
What
love
was your
all these
favorite? What was
family
your favorite
members.
thing your mom used to make for you? Did your mom cook?
My mom sucks at cooking.
Ah!
Sorry, Mom. Love you. So.
What do you like to make for her?
Yeah, that's more the question.
I love it.
She's a big eater. She's a big foodie. She enjoys food. So literally, she just anything
Heck
we
yeah.
make. Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here,
Sorry,
Judy.
Mom.
We love moms
Well,
at Homemade.
we do know a little tidbit about you as a kid, so you can stay on for this one, Mom. You were like cooking at like a really young age, so your mom wasn't cooking, but you were cooking.
Somebody had to do it.
I mean, you had to eat. You had to eat. So what was the story there?
Yeah, I just kind of I was kind of a troublesome kid. I got into guitar. I really sucked at it. And so I kept looking for something to do, and I just realized I was really comfortable in the kitchen. There was this lady who had a cooking program, cooking school for children my age.
Yeah.
And I just kind of jumped in head first, really enjoyed it, kind of like took under her wing, found some direction in my life, and just kind of ran with it. So
it's amazing how sometimes and I also discovered cooking at a really young age. And for me, I had a lot of anxiety. I was just, as a tense kid, I was ADD, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then being in the kitchen, it was very centering and just very calming and grounding.
Yep.
And, I played sports and stuff, but nothing really grabbed me like that. Cooking can do that.
It gave me full control.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
it was like the first time in my life that I think I had that control,
Yeah.
and I knew that I could manipulate it to
Yes.
get a result that I wanted.
Yes.
And once I figured that out, it was like the world was my oyster.
And
or
it
my
was
shrimp. I don't know.
What an amazing place to create, too. Like, you're creating art at school, you're doing Legos. This is no different. You just got to kind of play in the kitchen. Which is
Yeah,
so
I
fun.
mean, I think in 4th grade, I made crepes for my whole class. Like,
No,
I would
that's
just
so
bring in
cute.
things, and
Oh, I
I'd be
love
playing
that.
at home, and so it was a fun way to also, show people a lot about me, and it spoke for me. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so the hoe cakes are kind of like blooming. They're kind of like hydrating.
Yeah.
And relaxing. And then
sure are.
our shrimp is now in the spice wall, that beautiful kind of jerk seasoning. By the way, for those of you who are not familiar with jerk, it's got so many different spices, but it has sweet spices like
It does.
nutmeg,
Nutmeg, allspice,
cinnamon,
which a lot of things that we find in the Carolinas. So
yeah,
it's really
yeah,
cool.
beautiful. So those are hanging out. And so what is next step here?
All right, let's make some salsa.
Let's make some salsa. Okay, I'm not thinking, when I think South Carolina, I'm not thinking salsa.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a different part of the world. So
But you're definitely thinking peaches, because peaches.
I'm learning to think
South
about
Carolina is the #1 producer of peaches.
Yeah, these peaches.
So I don't know who Georgia is, but get her out of here.
I love it. Now, these peaches came from South Carolina. We flew these in from South Carolina. They're perfect. You can tell they're not too soft where the finger kind of draws in. What makes a South Carolina peach a South Carolina peach?
The tartness, the
Yeah.
sourness all at the same time, a little bit of sweetness.
That balance.
There's just nothing like biting into a peach and having the juices just run down your arm. And there's nothing
Agreed.
that's more summertime than that feeling.
So agreed. All right, so what's step one for this?
All right, let's cut these peaches in half, and we're going to dice them down.
You want to do it with me?
Absolutely.
All right,
You want to race?
Yeah, I do. No, so we cut towards the seed.
Yep.
Twist the peach,
Yep.
not the knife.
And these are free stones, so all the work's done for us. We celebrate that at Swamp very much because we do a
love
lot
that.
of peach
These
production.
look ridiculous.
Oh
Can we get a
my
close up here,
gosh.
Richard?
Did you guys bring us extras so we could just eat these in front
I
of
know.
everyone?
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
hoping.
Can I at least, I just got to wedge
Get a slice of that.
I'll give you 1, 2. Come on.
2
Way to
chef
share.
snacks, please.
Oh my God.
Do we even need to make the salsa?
It makes me sad because the peaches we have here are good, but they're not like these. Like these are different level good. Oh, these are incredible.
They kept trying to shove nectarines at me yesterday at the market, and I just couldn't handle it.
No. I love it. All right, so we're going peaches. How do you do it? I'm wedging, but
Yeah, do. I mean, it's a natural thing.
yeah, you're screwing it
It's a
up, but
natural
that's
thing.
fine.
No,
yeah.
not at all. So I'm just going to dice it down.
Okay.
I like to do a small to medium dice. Just get more peaches per bite, really.
Yes. I love it. And so when you think about Greenville and you think about, one of the things we've been talking about all day today as we celebrate South Carolina is that when you're in the country and you're traveling and you go to South Carolina, you know you're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
How do you know you're in Greenville in South Carolina? Like, what is it? How is it different than a Charleston or those other kind of places that we would think about?
I think it doesn't matter how hot it is. People want to be outside. It's so gorgeous. You have the greenscape. You're just a couple minutes from the mountains. You're, an hour and a half from the shore if that's the life you want to live.
Yes, the life you want to live.
And I mean, really, like, what sums up Greenville for me is somebody walking around with a loaf of stecca. You're walking on the trail.
Wait, a loaf of stecca?
So that's our bread, our flagship.
Just drop names that I don't know. Like
that's
stecca.
the bread that we worship.
Okay.
And so, oftentimes if you're walking through the city, you see people just literally gnawing off the bread. We have like a very known bread sleeve, and as you see it, it's they were at Swamp. I
love that.
They're there celebrating local right alongside us. So.
So it's kind of more outdoorsy.
It definitely is.
Okay,
It definitely is. Big bike scene, which we also celebrate. All of our shirts say "Eat Local" on the front or back, and then on the other side of it says "Ride Bikes." So it's a big part of our culture at Swamp as well. And we really align our culture with Greenville, I think.
And you said it's up north, so is it kind of in its own area? Is there cute surrounding towns? Like, what's the vibe around it?
There is a couple little, small little farm towns around it, but I would say Greenville's kind of a little area and a little pocket all its own.
I love that. So it keeps everyone together.
Yeah.
That makes for a tight-knit community.
I think the closest large city is Asheville. It's about an hour away.
I love it. All right.
Jeannie,
so peaches are, hit it.
Just really quick, when I say the word G Vegas, what does that mean to you?
What is it?
G Vegas.
That's something that people throw around in Greenville. I don't.
I'm obsessed.
Personally use
so
that,
I
but people are
personally
into
will
it.
be using it.
Do it.
So
Wait,
Joel,
what
when
is
are we
G
going?
Vegas?
G Vegas is Greenville, baby. Do you love it? People are saying it in the chat, so I just have
People
to
are
tell
saying
you.
G Vegas. All right,
Yeah.
all
Anyway,
right.
let them have
I'll
it.
take
Carry
Yeah,
on.
let them have it. Tomatoes are happening right now in South Carolina. Tomatoes
Yes,
legit,
we're
right?
going
So am
through
I
a ton of
dicing the
tomatoes.
same here?
Yep, exactly.
All right. So just check out this tomato. Also, I mean,
Nice
just
heirloom.
ridiculous.
Just speaks summertime, right?
I mean, yeah, when it's like bleeding tomato juice everywhere. I mean,
it needs some Duke's mayonnaise personally, but that's all right.
the Duke's is legit over there. I mean,
Duke's is from Greenville.
I love it.
Say what?
I love it.
Yeah, we
So-
love
Little
Dukes.
shout out.
Tell me more about Swamp Wrap. So, how many people work there with you? How big is this
Yeah,
operation?
so it's grown quite a bit over the years. And so originally when it opened, it was just Jack and Mary, the co-owners, and their families. I think their husbands would get drug into things quite often.
Okay.
And now we have 140 employees.
Wow.
And so it is definitely quite the operation.
Dude.
Like I was saying, we have a cafe. We do full coffee service. We have a coffee bar on the premise. And so, yeah, it's really taken off.
And what people don't realize is that Greenville is actually home to a very coveted culinary award. Tell us a little bit about this.
And so this year will be the first year that we are hosting the Michelin Awards. And so Michelin is a big manufacturer in Greenville, right alongside like BMW and
I
things
didn't
like
know that.
It's a
That's
big
where it was
manufacturing
based.
town. Yeah.
So was it started there, like Michelin's Guide, like everything?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Michelin is something that is very much first coming to Greenville this year, and as Greenville's food scene takes off, things are coming along for the ride right with us. So.
Dude, that is so cool.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
That's really cool. All right. So
All
we
right,
got
so
tomatoes,
taking care of the
peaches.
onion.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
What's next?
And we're gonna chiffonade up some basil.
Okay. You want to do that with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just good old fresh basil. Second basil dish we've seen. I mean, it's summer. Everyone always asks, like, how do I know how to mix flavors or what goes together? What grows together goes together.
That's
so
it.
if basil's growing, which it is right now, it goes with peaches, it goes with watermelon, it goes with all those things that maybe you don't even think it might go with. Okay, this looks amazing. It smells really vibrant and fresh. So are these salads, like when I go into this, like into the market, are there just salads like this, just like where I can just get them by the scoop?
Yeah, so we have a couple sandwiches right now that actually have this peach bruschetta on it. And then we also sell a lot of the ingredients we use on the sandwiches in our grocery. So we sell it as a peach bruschetta in retail, but we have a jerk sandwich with a basil aioli and a peach salsa on top of it on our menu.
Just
currently.
stop.
I'm getting
Just
like chills
stop.
up and down my arms. What's
We're
going
all
on?
dying. Yeah, I love it. It sounds incredible. All right, so
We're going to throw the rest of this basil in here.
Yep.
We're going to throw some vinegar in there for a little acid punch.
What kind of vin?
I use red wine, but that peach vinegar that Darren was using earlier would certainly work.
Dude. All right,
A little
lots of salt.
in here, kind of tie all your flavors together. And this is supposed to be a real simple thing that anybody can do. Again, adding different flavors if you so wish. You could put some watermelon in here if you wanted to get real crazy. You could put some boiled peanuts for some of those viewers that are
the boiled peanuts
stuck on the boiled
and I'm saying boiled peanuts the right way.
It's very South Carolina.
You guys, I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about it. I just want to eat those all day, and those would be so good in here.
Yeah, I think so too. A
So
little crunch
good.
action.
I have to try some.
Do it.
Will you try some with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, grab a little spoon there. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Simple.
No, better than simple. Those peaches are insane. The red wine vinegar, it heightens everything. You salted it beautifully. And honestly, the raw crunch of the onion are happening. This is really, really good. All right. Salsa finito. Hoe cakes getting ready to go.
Let's do it.
What are we doing? Hoe cakes or shrimp?
Let's do some hoe cakes.
All
so
right.
we'll throw some butter down here, get that to a good state.
And we're using a
and
griddle,
melt it
but if
down.
someone doesn't have a griddle at home.
Yeah, you can use a saute pan, even a non-stick.
Okay.
Anything you have. I like cast iron personally, but it's just a preference. So.
Yeah, love it.
Let's move this guy right
All right, so we're moving that around.
All right, I always do like a sacrificial pancake, even if I'm making, breakfast pancakes in the morning.
This will be sacrificed to my belly.
There it is,
you
or
go.
the dog.
Exactly, same thing. All right, beautiful. And we just let that go.
Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we'll let that kind of go. And yeah, so again, kind of with the hoe cake, you're looking for bubbles to start forming on the top. I like to use butter. It kind of makes some like real nice crispy edges. I like kind of seeing that lacing. That means it's all happening how it should. And let the hoe cake kind of tell you when to flip it.
Okay. What is it?
You're going to look for some bubbles on top, just like you would like a breakfast pancake. Some of
Okay.
those active ingredients working and really softening things up.
I love it. Now, I've been asking, I talked to Chef Darren about this. I want to know kind of with you as well. What does now, because he born and raised there, for you, new, what does South Carolina mean to you? Like, what does it kind of represent?
Yeah, so I mean, my husband and I started our family there, and so it represents family to us. You know, we decided to up our roots from Florida and find somewhere new to live. And the community's really like wrapped their arms around us and has told us exactly where we need to be and that we're right where we need to be. So it's been really exciting.
You're not moving.
No, we're not. We love it, right?
I love it. We feed you enough salmon over here. We'll see if we can bring cake. I don't think
There it
so.
is.
All right,
There
so
it
that's
is.
cooking. How long per side?
So once you get your temperature right, you really only need 3 or 4 minutes per side. It's all about getting it hot enough to where it kind of griddles. And then I always kind of throw them in the oven for the last couple seconds just so that you don't brown them too much, but that they're getting nice and tender on the inside.
I love it.
cooked.
And you
So-
can make small ones of these too, right?
Absolutely.
If you're having
You could
people over or
do,
whatever.
this one's a pretty large one here, but yeah, definitely these are made to be able to like pop one in your mouth, put a little salsa on it, fold one of those shrimp around it. And yeah, good barbecue dish.
Fun.
Good side dish.
This is
Maybe you
all I
want to
wanna
have something
eat.
on the counter when your guests arrive for a barbecue, something like that.
This
so.
is it. And you can already smell, like the butter is turning kind of a brown butter.
Yep.
You can
You get that
smell the
nuttiness.
sweet corn already.
Yeah.
Like I can get a little wafts of the basil over here. Like you can just know that this is going to be a transcending dish.
All right.
Oh, come on. That's
Golden
not
brown, baby.
sacrificial.
Oh.
That's cookbook worthy. I love it.
Put a little more
All right.
fat
Yeah,
on
now
there,
it's like,
'cause
all
why
right, we're
not?
going. We're going.
Paula Dean just said an amen for me.
And so spread this around. Are we going to cook some more out? Might as well.
Yeah, it's all right.
There's some more Chef Jeanne fans in the chat. Pinnacle Partnership, the Pinnacle Partnership family sends you their love.
Oh,
and
very
says
What
they're very proud
partnership?
of you. The Pinnacle Partnership.
Pinnacle Partnership. All right. Any questions? I want to do a quick review, but any questions so far? Are we doing good, Mary?
No, I'm asking if folks have any questions about the peach salsa before we get into the hoe cakes, but we're in hoe cake territory, people.
We're in hoe cake territory. I love it.
Yeah, let me know in the chat, everybody. I think
okay.
we're having a lot of stuff answered as we go.
Great.
You guys keep
Good.
rocking.
All right. Awesome.
All right, we'll go ahead and get some oil just so we can get this nice and hot for our shrimp.
You want oil in?
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little
oil
bit. There we go.
in. Okay.
Yeah, then we'll turn that up
I'll
just a
turn
little
this.
bit.
You want
Thank
this smoking?
Yeah.
Shrimp, as we all know at home, takes about 2 minutes to cook, if that. And so you gotta have a rockin' pan.
Let's set this guy over
so
here.
good.
All right,
Come
now we're
on.
going in.
Let me spread you
There
around
you
here.
go. Thank you.
You're going with all of them.
We'll go a little smaller on these for a good
Yeah,
presentation.
they look great. Oh my gosh.
And
This
I
is-
kind of like when they're not perfectly round.
We celebrate that here at
Yeah.
Homemade. We love imperfection. It means it's homemade. You know, it's not
Yeah.
made by a machine. I love it. Should
All
we
right.
do 2 more here, or you don't want to?
No, it's a little cooler right there.
Okay,
So
we'll let the 4 happen.
all right, go ahead and throw those shrimp in there.
Throw
Let's
shrimp
let
in?
those
Let's go.
happen while these are happening. As
All
a
right.
mother, I try not to have any wasted time in anything
Show me
I'm
what's
doing.
up. You cook this around.
Awesome.
So tricks to shrimp. Give it to me. A lot of people cook shrimp. What do we want to think about? Oh, that smells so
I like
good.
to do a single layer. Again, going back to your point of how fast these cook.
Yeah.
I try not to have them like steaming. I really want them to get some good heat on that oil and get some good color. Especially with this jerk, it's going to bring out a lot of caramelization.
And are you trying to bring it kind of like to that dark place?
I like to I don't like treat it like a blackening, but
Right.
dang near.
Dude, this smells incredible. And it looks, see how fast they kind of curl up? I mean, at this point, they're already like half cooked,
Yep.
right? I mean, this is the reality. But I think one of the things at home that I always like to stress is, you'll notice Chef Jeanne is not touching the shrimp. She spread them out, even layer, walk away. When you sit there and you mess with them and you stir them, you're not getting that crust, you're not getting that caramelization, so just let them do their thing, yeah?
Yep, that's it.
That's
and
it.
then just turn them once, and then I always try and have some water handy. I kind of like let them steam for their last piece. Again, adding some wetness so that they don't dry out. There's no easier way to dry out a shrimp than just overcooking it.
Yeah, and I know
it's very quick.
this is obviously coastal. You're up in the mountains.
Yep.
What's the food difference between Greenville and, like, let's just say a Charleston or something on the coast?
Yeah, I mean, we don't do a lot of seafood. We have a guy that parks the seafood truck out once a week and celebrates the coastal seafood. But we celebrate a lot of cattle and a lot of chicken in our area.
Love
that. Like you were saying, you eat what grows together.
Goes together.
Goes together. And so with that, we kind of change all of the different pieces and parts to our dishes to kind of match what we have in our area. But when you think about South Carolina, you can't ignore the seafood portion. So I try and highlight it where I can. And being from Florida, definitely helps
you got to
too.
bring those in.
Yeah.
You got to bring those in. Oh, that looks amazing. Is your mom still in Florida? Are we still a Florida supporter here?
No, she came up to Travelers Rest, which is just north of Greenville. So.
See? We bring them all in. All right.
All right. So some of these are getting pretty close.
Oh, come on.
Those smell divine
They
up here.
look
It's a lot of
insane.
butter
Look,
happening. I'm
Are
loving
you
it.
proud?
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
That looks really good.
All right, we're going to throw a little water in here. These are just about done. Kind of let them steam up.
Yep.
It'll kind of also create a little bit of sauce for us, so
Yeah.
we'll let that water just kind of cook down a little bit,
I love it.
and that'll just add a little extra flavor to our plate.
That sounds crazy. I'm shocked you're not finishing it with butter. You could if you
Well,
wanted
there was
to.
enough butter in the hoe
Yeah,
cakes,
exactly.
I think,
It
to
will
stand.
balance. You want to grab the platter?
Yes.
We're going to start kind of thinking about playing this up. So, to recap, we've got this gorgeous peach salsa. We've got the jerk shrimp. We've got this unbelievable sweet corn hoe cake. This feels like South Carolina on a platter.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to eat that one.
All right, let's do
How
it.
dare you? It's not a sacrifice. It's a beautiful. No, you want to go right now?
Yeah, we're eating it
All
right
right,
now.
we're eating it right now. Let's go.
I don't play.
Are you for real?
Yeah, okay.
No, that's not a hoe cake. That's just cake. That is
a little sweet.
No, that is so divine. Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Pull that
Let
off.
me tell you what I love about it. The pop of sweet corn. The red pepper is actually genius. The sugar is not too much. It's perfect. This is the most addicting thing that's ever come off a griddle in my mind. Like, this is amazing.
Well, there's a lot of controversy around, do you put sugar in your cornbread?
Yes,
you
the answer
know,
is
and
yes. I'm sorry.
Yes with corn cakes, yes with cornbread.
Yes, if it's going in my belly. Yes.
There
I
you go.
love it. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of shingle these.
Love. Oh my gosh, look at this.
All right, let's get some of that peach salsa action.
All right, let me get you a spoon, chef. There we go.
Go. Just kind of plate some of this down. I like to make sure it gets on there. That way all that juice kind of like goes into your corn cake.
Come on. This is just it right here. Anyone can rock this out. I know this looks, the way that it's being played, it looks fancy, but you can do this. It's salsa and pancakes, people. I mean, it's amazing. All right, next up.
All right, and then we're going to throw some shrimp on here.
Dude, I just can't. Richard, oh yeah. Mary, you dying over there?
Yeah, I'm half alive.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly,
help. I think the only thing that will help is this dish.
Everyone is just mesmerized by this, and I think that we're all so taken by just the stories of South Carolina, the ingredients of South Carolina, and how easy you can bring this together. This looks ridiculous.
Yeah, and then let's just throw some basil on there for some
A little
color.
more? You want to shift it up for
yeah,
you?
we'll just throw like a little chunky on there.
All right.
That way, if people want that extra little freshness, they can grab it. As
Show
they,
show me your
throw
ways.
these on their plate. Yeah, I think even just
Tuck them in. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll get that guy out of there.
Get out of here. I'll hold this up so everyone can see. This just looks vibrant. It screams summer.
South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that.
Dun, dun,
On
dun.
the
That
plate.
looks incredible, Chef
we get
Jeanne.
an-
Oh,
oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
That shot looks awesome,
There you
Richard.
go.
Thank you.
Hold it there because that looks crazy.
The chat's
Wow.
freaking out, folks.
We're
It
all
looks excellent.
freaking out. All right, let me get some forks and knives here. I'm trying this all together. You ready? We're going into this together?
What's the knife for? I got a hand and a fork.
All right, let's get messy. Let's do it. So first of all, just cutting into the hoe cake. Remember when I was like, do you add butter? You don't need it. It's so tender. I'm eating the tail.
Gotta get the perfect bite here.
It's just so beautiful, all the colors in the dish. Okay, enjoy, Joel. I'll leave you two
Go
alone.
Dude, I'm doing a double take. I'm not even going to describe it. It's just, what? It's a symphony.
All right.
All right.
Simple.
No. So simple. Dead simple. But like addicting.
Yeah.
Like so addicting. Like I want to start with the hoe cake, which is my favorite hoe cake I've ever had. I'm a big cornbread guy. I'm a big pancake guy. I feel like you just ruined it all for me. Like that was the best. The peach salsa, it's bright. You didn't add a lick of fat to it. So it's just acidic and it pops. And it's unsuspecting. I mean, you don't think, peach and basil, you don't normally do it. Like it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the shrimp itself, I didn't know. I didn't think, to me personally, I was like, okay, is this spice mixture going to be overwhelming? It plays perfectly.
Yeah, it kind of warms up the dish a little bit.
Really warms up the dish. I just want to mow through this.
Keep going.
I will. Oh, this is not.
Hey, chefs,
this is
are
not-
we eating the tails of our shrimp?
I am.
Okay. Not even
I'm
missing
not.
a beat.
She's not. I
Okay,
am.
you guys, it is a personal choice. Your shrimp,
Personal
your
choice, your call. Thank you. Thank you for a taste
Absolutely.
of you. You've been cooking since you've been a little kid. Now you're running one of the, what sounds like not only just an amazing kind of grocery store and cafe, but also this community center that people
Exactly.
just get around. Any last thoughts from you on kind of Greenville, on South Carolina, why we all got to come visit?
Oh yeah, come visit. We're happy to have you, and yeah, bring it. I can't wait to show you guys what we have to offer and what our farmers are doing, and just it's a really vibrant city. Come check it
You're
out.
vibrant. You brought it. Thank you, Chef Jeanne. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are still live here. We're not going anywhere. We have Chef Shuai coming up next. We're going to explore a completely different part of South Carolina, a completely different kind of cooking because that's what South Carolina brings. So hold tight. We got a little video to watch. Thank you, Chef Jeanne.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joel.
We'll see you guys soon. Stay tuned.
See you shortly.
Feels great to be a South Carolina chef ambassador, and to be able to represent it is such a big honor. So we're in Park Circle, North Charleston right now. This past 2 years, it really started to feel like home. I love this neighborhood. It's very much family oriented. It's very walkable, so it takes me 5 minutes to walk to work every day, and I think that's really, really nice. I met Nathan first time, like almost 10 years ago, when we used to have a food truck called Short Grain. And I think he dropped by for some sample eggs, and this very quirky, unique person, just full of personality. I don't know, I think we just clicked. We weren't using local eggs yet. For some reason, he's just very persuasive. Ended up being like good friends, and I've been buying eggs from Nathan since, I think 2015.
Part of the romantic notion is the self-sufficiency, but that's a fallacy. There is no self-sufficiency. We're all interdependent. So that was one of the big early lessons in farming. I've leaned into that over the years and tried to be as much of a part of the community in the Lowcountry as possible. Jeanne did not realize when she married someone from the U.S. that she was going to come over here and work not just as hard as her farmer parents, but harder.
After putting this up, I will open the gate. How about that?
It's our job to set them up for success, give them all the forage, all the nutrients that they need to produce well and live a happy, healthy life. So that's where the forage and the feed comes in. And once the forage is gone and they've laid enough manure to stimulate growth, it's time to move them to the next quarter acre and set up a new paddock of netting. It's going to be a healthier animal with a healthier egg and healthier soils that are going to get better iteratively year in and year out, so that we leave the land better than we found it. We leave the community of egg eaters healthier than we found them. Chef Shuai likes large and extra large, so we're going to try and set those aside for him, keep him happy. When we found out that they were opening up a restaurant, we were super excited to team up with them and serve their restaurant as well. And then anything we can do to continue that relationship with all their future endeavors is exciting for us.
I was raised by my grandmother. I always liked my grandma's cooking. That was my earliest memories. All the little flavors. Back in China, when I was still living there, it was still rations. So a steamed egg consists of eggs and water, and half of it is water. So you can be able to stretch a couple of eggs out to feed your whole family, basically. There's many ways to make steamed egg, especially garnishing. There's such a versatile dish that you can just kind of garnish it however you like, which is also one of my favorite parts about the steamed egg. Very basic method of cooking steamed egg is obviously steaming. You want to get the steam as hot as possible. But you really don't want to slow cook on these eggs. You want a really nice hot steam to kind of, there it goes. When you put the food down, people have that first bite and you can see their eyes light up and a smile get on their face. I think that's the most important part about cooking and serving food, is that it makes everyone very happy.
Think about like the Charleston food scene right now, like how much have evolved and
be more sustainable, keeps the money in the local food hubs.
Yeah,
feeds their family something delicious and wholesome.
for sure.
There's a lot of umami. Just have that instant spark, that reaction. You can see it in their eyes. That's when that lights up. It makes me very happy because it just reminds me of my grandma. She's one of my favorite person in the whole entire world. And when I serve things like this, I just hope that it makes her proud.
My first real memory of food and fresh food would be at my grandfather's. He took me out to a cornfield, pretty cool. We just walked down row after row, and he really wanted me to try his Silver Queen corn. So he snapped some off the stalk, ripped the husk back, and we stood right there just eating it right off the cob. I'm like, wow, that's why do we even cook this?
Dad.
Hey, Punky.
What you doing?
Coming up with the corn dish. Got some real pretty corn from Richard, and thought we would do a corn pudding. I just wasn't sure really how to plate that on a dish, so I thought about a ham to wheel. Luckily, my buddy Richard's an excellent farmer. Been doing grits with him for 12 years, cornmeal, honey. He grows just all kinds of wonderful things out there. That spawned a great relationship, and he's not only my farmer, but a good buddy.
I'm 10th generation farmer. Try to diversify as time goes on, and we farm corn, soybeans, wheat. Me and my father farmed it along together. Now I run all the row crops and the custom spreading, and he runs stocker calves. And our daughter and son has also got stocker calves for the first time this past fall, and they're looking at buying some more right now.
I fell in love with somebody who absolutely loved agriculture. And because I loved him so much and he was so passionate about everything that he did, it became a passion of mine. And then of course when we had kids, we want that legacy to continue. We want to still be able to farm here in Horry County and just be able to serve the community.
To me, it's being able to plant a seed and watch it grow. So I like to try something and see how it's gonna work, and it's the challenge behind it, to see if I can make that corn better than it was last year. It's all about efficiency and what you do to put back what you've taken away, and how you take your product and move it down the line, just like what we take our pork and send it to Darren, because our feed for our pork, we grow everything that our hogs eat, we grind it. The leftover from the grinding shed, when I make the grits in the cornmeal, you've got the hominy and the leftovers, it goes straight into the feed channel, goes straight to my hogs.
I love going to Darren's and just knowing that, you know, our name's on the menu. You know, knowing that what we put all of our heart and soul in, other people can enjoy. It blesses my heart on a daily basis.
I'm fortunate enough to live 10 minutes from my restaurants. I walk there every morning to start my day. We have the Waccamaw River running through the town, and we're grounded here in this historical area. The food scene in Conway is skyrocketing. I opened 31 years ago. We've seen some restaurants come and go, but now Conway's really in its heyday. So this is where Richard Corn is just gonna rule the plate. And you're shucking that, and I'm gonna start cutting some off the cob. And I have a trick using our torch that we burn the rest of that silt off of there. And we're getting all that little good seed and corn liquid out of there. And that's gonna come in real handy as far as flavor. I appreciate your help.
Of course.
I will see you over at Richard's tonight at 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Problem a lot of people have when they're making corn fritters is you end up with a pancake studded with corn. And I wanted a real good corn fritter. And if you're getting good, delicious, in-season sweet corn, why not showcase that? Corn in every way imaginable. We have about 80% of our product comes from the state of South Carolina, which I think is really important. I've been dealing with my farmer, Richard Floyd, for 12 years now. He and I have had a working relationship that has built into a friendship for over a decade. So relationships like that really matter to me with local farmers, artisans, fishmongers. They in turn bring their families to eat dinner here. I love being a South Carolina chef ambassador. The people we've met with the same passions and just expressing our culture and cooking styles across the state. It's just been phenomenal. Love the connections that we're making. We've known each other so long, started off just buying grits and then cornmeal and pigs and honey, and I don't know where it's gonna end, but this sweet corn is just phenomenal.
That's right. And it's good to be able to provide to chefs what they want, because this is the way we eat every day, and we can provide that for a restaurant to be able to serve it to other people.
I love it. Cheers to this wonderful evening, friends that have turned into family, delicious cuisine from our farmer friend Richard, and all of us that enjoy each other on a daily basis.
I think it's Landry approved.
Thanks, man.
Being a chef ambassador has been great. We've really enjoyed getting to show the rest of the state what we're doing here in Greenville, South Carolina. The Food Hub does a lot for our community in the sense that it creates a place for farmers to really drop their goods, then takes everything, stickers it, pushes it out to the community, takes it to restaurants, and provides a fair chance for these goods to be sold. It's really great for the grocery and cafe because we're getting a lot of items that might have been picked from the ground that morning, making our vegetables and produce the freshest you can get here in South Carolina.
Swamp Rabbit changed our farm. It brought the consistency of movement of the product, which drove the demand to have animals processed. Come on, girls. Come here. Come on. When we was working with the stockyard only, the fluctuation was crazy. I mean, cattle could be up 100% from the year previous. With us working with Swamp Rabbit, our prices have stayed pretty well the same. We want anyone that wants a local product to be able to afford it.
When we started out with Swamp Rabbit, we were maybe taking 100 pounds of meat a week, and we have grown with them. They have grown so much and added so much and expanded, and we've also grown with them. So now we're taking about 1.5 to 2 cows per week to them.
You know, her dad's 70, her grandfather's 90, and she's watched them commit their entire life to this property. And I've been around now 16 years, and I've watched them two work this land and make it what it is. So it's only right that I make sure to pull my weight and raise Gunner to pull his weight, because the land and the farm doesn't pay for itself just sitting here. You got to work it. They're doing good, though. They look good.
They do.
When the owners first opened, it was really just intended to be a grocery, I think, at first, and then it really caught on to the community, and so I think the community wanted more from Swamp. People coming off the trail would come in and say, like, what do you guys have to eat? So Mary, one of the owners, was like, well, hold on a second, I'll be right back, you know, and she comes forth with the first Stecca bread sandwich, and it was loved from the first moment. You know, they went from making 20 to 40 to 60 loaves at a time to now 1,200 to 2,000 loaves on the weekend. People are still coming off the trail for it today. We try and utilize as much waste as we possibly can. So we've gone ahead and peeled a bunch of carrots and we've used in other applications. And then we're gonna take all of this and turn it into broth. Other things that we use sometimes, herbs that are just like the stems and stuff, just to pull the last of the season out of them, since this is an herbed bone broth. So we have about a pound of rosemary and about a pound of thyme, bring out the flavor of the beef and make the sandwich just a little bit different. Can't have an Herb Your Enthusiasm sandwich without any herbs. The name came before the sandwich, actually. It kind of made sense to me to have a sandwich, but also utilize some part of waste of the animal to really highlight what these guys are doing on the farm. One of the things Travis and Misty and myself have really tried to do is get to a point where we're using tail to nose on 3 cows about a week. We buy a lot of ground beef, can utilize a lot of just random cuts, and then the bones, which is a big part of their waste. And so they always love when we're able to grab a ton of bones. So this is a great way to highlight that and have you guys really enjoy some of the waste as well. What makes us all humble and happy is our families, and so giving ourselves enough time to grow with our families as well as grow within Swamp has been really something I've never found in any other part of the industry.
On Wednesdays when we're prepping for you guys, everybody's, the guys, the girls, everybody's like, whoa.
Now, what are they doing?
What do they need this week? It's like, you don't want to know.
What kind of sandwich are we gonna do next?
I don't know, you tell me.
It feels great to be a South Carolina chef ambassador, and to be able to represent it is such a big honor. So we're in Park Circle, North Charleston right now. This past 2 years, it really started to feel like home. I love this neighborhood. It's very much family oriented. It's very walkable, so it takes me 5 minutes to walk to work every day, and I think that's really, really nice. I met Nathan first time, gosh, like almost 10 years ago, when we used to have a food truck called Short Grain. And I think he dropped by for some sample eggs, and this very quirky, unique person, just full of personality. I don't know, I think we just clicked. We weren't using local eggs yet. For some reason, he's just very persuasive. Ended up being like good friends, and I've been buying eggs from Nathan since, I think 2015.
Part of the romantic notion is the self-sufficiency, but that's a fallacy. There is no self-sufficiency. We're all interdependent. So that was one of the big early lessons in farming. I've leaned into that over the years and tried to be as much of a part of the community in the Low Country as possible. Jeanne did not realize when she married someone from the US that she was going to come over here and work not just as hard as her farmer parents, but harder.
After putting this up, I will open the gate. How about that?
It's our job to set them up for success, give them all the forage, all the nutrients that they need to produce well and live a happy, healthy life. So that's where the forage and the feed comes in. And once the forage is gone and they've laid enough manure to stimulate growth, it's time to move them to the next quarter acre and set up a new paddock of netting. It's going to be a healthier animal with a healthier egg and healthier soils that are going to get better iteratively year in and year out, so that we leave the land better than we found it. We leave the community of egg eaters healthier than we found them. Chef Shuai likes large and extra large, so we're going to try and set those aside for him, keep him happy. When we found out that they were opening up a restaurant, we were super excited to team up with them and serve their restaurant as well. And then anything we can do to continue that relationship with all their future endeavors is exciting for us.
I was raised by my grandmother. I always liked my grandma's cooking. That was my earliest memories. All the little flavors. Back in China, when I was still living there, it was still rations. So a steam egg consists of eggs and water, and half of it is water. So you can be able to stretch a couple of eggs out to feed your whole family, basically. There's many ways to make steam egg, especially garnishing. There's such a versatile dish that you can just kind of garnish it however you like, which is also one of my favorite parts about the steam egg. Very basic method of cooking steamed egg is obviously steaming. You want to get the steam as hot as possible. You really don't want to slow cook on these eggs. You want a really nice hot steam to kind of, there it goes. When you put the food down, people have that first bite, and you can see their eyes light up and a smile get on their face. I think that's the most important part about cooking and serving food, is that it makes everyone very happy.
Think about like the Charleston food scene right now, like how much have evolved and
They're more sustainable, keeps the money in the local food hubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeds their family something delicious and wholesome.
For sure.
There's a lot of umami. Just have that instant spark, that reaction. You can see it in their eyes. That's when it lights up. It makes me very happy. It just reminds me of my grandma. She's one of my favorite person in the whole entire world. And when I serve things like this, I just hope that it makes her proud.
Hey everyone, we are back and we are just eating our way through one of the best food states in all of America, South Carolina. We are celebrating everything there is to celebrate. We've cooked it up live with 2 chefs, and now we've brought in the big guns.
Oh gosh.
No. Amazing chef ambassador. This is Shuai Wang, and from North Charleston, right?
North Charleston.
Which is not Charleston.
Not Charleston, just 10 minutes outside of Charleston.
We're going to learn about it. We're going to dive deep, but I do want to just tell you guys again, this is totally live. So if you want to talk to Shuai or myself, you can do that in real time by going into the chat. We've got Mary, our producer, hanging out in there. Mary, you still live?
I'm still live. I've now had a snack, and I'm
Ooh.
really, really excited to be here.
Chef Jeanne's hoe cakes.
Yeah, those went crazy.
Yeah. If you're just arriving, just back up the bar and check that out, or we have not stopped. We've had the best food ever. It was incredible. And again, we're just kind of going to different parts of South Carolina. We're talking all about it. First, before we get into you, North Charleston. That's not Charleston. How far away is it from Charleston?
I think it takes me only like 10, 12 minutes to drive downtown.
So it's like a suburb. It's
a suburb. Just like young people, families, working class. Kind of get away from like that hustle bustle of downtown. So it's a little quieter.
What did you call it? The Brooklyn of?
I call it the Williamsburg.
The Williamsburg
of Charleston, because it's just like, I don't know, it's like just such a good vibe over there.
It's a hip, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Tons of great
young
restaurants,
people.
lots of young people. Yeah, it's great.
And people like yourself who are just opening up amazing restaurants. Now, you have two restaurants. One's called Jackrabbit Philly.
Yes, sir.
And the other one's King Barbecue.
King Barbecue, yeah.
Tell me about these.
Jackrabbit Philly was an ode to kind of my heritage. Chinese food, food that's from Beijing, and a recipe that's inspired by my grandma and my mom. And then we try to use as local as possible. Because Chinese food often, it's like chicken and broccoli, beef from this and broccoli, that broccoli, it's just broccoli, everything.
Totally.
I've never seen a single broccoli in my young life when I was growing up in Beijing. I didn't know what a broccoli was. I didn't know what a broccoli was until I moved to the States.
So that's like an Americanized.
That's an absolutely Americanized thing. I was like,
why do we have to bring broccoli into it? Yeah, what are we doing?
So yeah, we try to do Chinese food, but our way, just kind of a little fun with it. I don't think food should have borders.
Yeah.
So just a mixture of Chinese and all these other things that influenced me through my career.
Amazing.
And then King Barbecue was an ode to my love for Chinatown barbecue. The hanging roast ducks and the cha shao. But we wanted to incorporate a lot of the kind of southern traditional smoke techniques to Chinese barbecue techniques. So you got this perfect mixture of smoke and salty and sweet and textures. It's just like the perfect mix of the both barbecue worlds.
It's genius because when you think, first of all, it's amazing. And I love that you're bringing your Chinese heritage forward and kind of living it through South Carolina because South Carolina has such a pronounced identity in food.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about this is the birthplace of barbecue, but you also talk about China, which has its own history of barbecue.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of overlap once you kind of get into it, right? But there's also a lot of differences.
There really is. I mean, a lot of old school Chinese barbecue places you find in Shanghai or Hong Kong, it's all cooked over coal, right? Which is a lot of that Piedmont style, North Carolina, South Carolina style barbecue is also cooked over coal.
Interesting.
So it's kind of that same kind of flavor profile of having that little bit of smokiness, a little bit of that, you grow on the char.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that, and a lot of those Asian ingredients just work really well.
Yeah.
With barbecue because you use that soy and that sugar and
I was going to say the sweetness of the
sweetness,
Carolina barbecue,
exactly.
and the Chinese barbecue.
Yeah, and the Chinese hot mustard works really well because the
Interesting.
Carolina barbecues were all mustard and vinegar, right? So we kind of have that perfect just mixture. It's just meant to be.
Dude,
it's
that's
kismet.
so interesting.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
pretty
it.
cool.
And you immigrated when you were 9?
I immigrated. Yeah, my family and I immigrated to Queens when I was 9, and pretty much grew up in Queens and lived a little bit in Brooklyn before I left, but was a New Yorker for 20 years before moving to Charleston.
All right, we'll talk about why you moved to Charleston, and we're going to talk about so much more about South Carolina, but let's dig in. So today we are making shrimp and rice grits.
That's right, yeah.
So typical grits is corn grits.
Right.
But this is you bringing in your heritage and bringing in rice. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, rice grits is also a big thing in the South, especially with the gold rice, like the Maitlands. They're little cut up pieces from
let's
milling.
show this.
Yeah, it's great.
So
they're
this
broken.
is called Maitlands?
Yeah, they're broken pieces from milling, and so they take that and they'll make rice grits with it. And the first time I ever had rice grits, it reminded me so much of congee because it's that kind of same kind of texture profile. It's creamy and delicious. This kind of we call it rice grits, but it's basically just, I'm making congee today.
Yeah, and I will say it's hard to catch on camera, but what it looks like is little grains of rice broken in half.
Yeah.
And this is just a natural byproduct of grinding rice into rice flour. And you mentioned congee. I'm a congee obsessor. But for those people at home who don't know what it is it?
Congee actually came about when when I was growing up in Beijing, we were still on rations. So my grandma had to, we got, I don't remember how much, but probably was 2 pounds of rice.
Got it.
And she had to feed her whole family, right?
Yes.
So it's my grandpa, my cousins, my mom and dad, and my cousin's parents. And so you got this small amount of rice, but you had to stretch it out to feed your whole entire family. And what came about was taking rice and cooking in a lot of water and making this creamy, almost porridge, and then a porridgey texture, but it was filling.
Yeah.
So it was a way to stretch that. I have such a love for congee because it was always a way to we grew up poor, but it was a way to make sure that your family was always full and happy. Congees always had a special place in my heart, and we grew up eating it every day when I was young. Because it's such a blank canvas for things, right? You can put whatever you want on top. Either it's what we're doing today with the shrimp, or like often I just like a little bit of a preserved radishes, or like a little soy, a little chili crisp, little egg, fried egg on there. Delicious. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, now it is a big part of that is such a touching story. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. So step one is you get these. If you can't find these, what can we replace it with?
I mean, honestly, my any high starch rice is really great.
Okay, like an arborio.
Yeah, or like you can use medium grain rice, short grain rice.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
sushi rice.
Sushi rice. Yeah, I wouldn't really suggest like a jasmine or a long grain. There's not enough starch in there. But yeah, any other kind of medium high starch rice is really nice.
All right. So what's step one, my man?
Well, we're gonna get we're gonna get the let's get the rice grits going.
Okay.
So what we have here is a little bit of pre-cooked gold rice mitlins.
Okay.
So I like to cook these prior to making the rice grits. What you do is you cook it like pasta, like this big pot of water.
Oh, that's
salt,
delicious.
And you roll
just
it. Yeah, just cook it through, and it makes it a little less starchy, and then you kind of finish it like almost like a risotto.
All right, so you're cooking the rice in a big pot of water like pasta,
right?
Straining it. It's a little al dente.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, because you don't want to overcooked.
Nope.
Right?
All right, cool.
Yeah, so
really
we're gonna
beautiful.
start this little saucepan over here, which is a little bit of chicken stock.
Okay.
You can use honestly anything: veggie stock, water. Oh Lord, we're spilling a little bit.
That's all right. Welcome to Homemade, baby. We make messes here.
We don't cry about little.
And you want me to bring this to a boil?
Yeah, we can bring it to a very low boil or a
Okay.
little simmer.
Okay.
But you get a little stock in there, bring that up.
Okay.
I like to season the stock like how I season my congee.
Okay.
So a little bit of ground white pepper.
Okay.
For just that kind of mellow heat, that's kind of background heat.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, black pepper is
Very
so
earthy.
forward. Yeah. And then, but white pepper kind of has that really nice background heat. And then a little bit of chicken powder, a little MSG.
Come on, baby. Second chef to bring a little chicken powder to the
It always
table.
makes things delicious.
Chefs, I have a couple questions that are already popping up here.
Bring
First
it,
of all, Shuai, you should have won Top Chef. That's what people are saying.
We're going to
It's
talk
just really
about Top
important.
Chef. Yeah, everyone's probably freaking out. Yeah.
Secondly, can congee be made with brown rice?
Congee can be made with brown rice, absolutely. It just takes a lot longer because the whole takes a lot of time to break down.
Yeah.
But I eat a lot of brown rice at home. I've often made congee with brown rice.
Yeah. Okay. Risotto culture a little more. You kind of have to be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and then final question. Can we talk about where this rice is sourced from again? People are wondering if it's Carolina
Gold
Gold.
rice is from Marcia Mills.
Gorgeous. See that,
Marcia
people?
Mills is one of my favorite mill in Charleston. We have been using them for since I think we moved down there for the past 10 years. They have a lot of really amazing heirloom grains. They have field peas, grits, like just all kinds of different things.
Because I've never seen this. So this is one of those things that you have to go down to South Carolina to find. I mean, like,
for
right?
sure.
I mean,
And they ship. I'm pretty sure they ship everywhere.
Yeah.
If you go online, you can buy it and they'll ship it anywhere. But they're
I've
just
never even heard of Midlands.
Yeah, this is crazy. The amount of stuff that I've never heard of until I moved down south.
That's what I'm saying. It's
I mean, broccoli. Imagine, and now this.
It's crazy. It's
broccoli.
It's
Broccoli Gate.
unbelievable.
Broccoli Gate 2025.
Yeah, and I do want to call out. We've talked a lot about Charleston, North Charleston.
Yeah.
There are amazing places where you can find these types of ingredients and other places to visit. So maybe you've heard of a little place called Myrtle Beach right on the coast.
Yeah.
Unbelievably stunning. I've spent some time in Hilton Head.
Oh, yeah.
Hilton
Beautiful.
Head is
absolutely beautiful.
Stunning. If you're a golfer or just love nature, I mean, there's very few places that have that coastal charm.
Yeah.
And then Columbia. I've never even heard of it, but have you been over there?
I love Columbia. Columbia's,
What's it like?
I mean, it's a beautiful city, and there's so many neat little pockets of different restaurants that you don't even think that would be there, but it's full of like really amazing places.
Yeah.
Historic
charm.
I feel
I'm
like
sure.
that's almost every city in South Carolina. You're like, oh, I don't know about this place, but you should. Like, there's Santee, which is also gorgeous, and Greenville, which is just hiker's dream. So it's just endless. Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
You really
in South
can't
Carolina.
go wrong. You really
All
can't.
right. So this is up to a boil. What's the next step?
Comes up. You want to add your
soy
rice to
smells
it.
Beautiful. So you're just going right in with the Midlands.
Yeah, right in there.
Am I saying that right? Midlands?
I don't know. I'm from the north. I'm from the north too. Like, don't put me on the
Say
spot.
sound off in the chat. How do you pronounce Midlands?
Oh, this looks amazing.
Well, it's like MIDDLIN without the G.
Yeah. I love it. Now, typically shrimp and grits. Now, is this like known in South Carolina as like shrimp and grits is known around the country, but like really important dish to the foundation and the fabric of the culture there?
Yeah, I think shrimp is as important as bagels for New York. This is one of those iconic dishes that's been around for forever. And South Carolina is full of dishes like that, right? Like all the Galakishi cuisine that's been down there for history of the cuisine in South Carolina is pretty amazing.
Really amazing. This, by the way, already looks creamy, delicious.
So yeah.
Kind of that porridgey vibe you were telling. Do we want more stock, or you feel good?
I like to cook it. I literally like to cook this like risotto a little bit.
Interesting.
So you want to cook this down to the liquid's almost gone, then you add a little bit more liquid to create that creaminess. And the biggest reason why we parboil beforehand is like this will get creamy, but you will still taste every single individual grains, and that's very important for me.
I love it. Now I want to go back to kind of your history. So you're in New York. You immigrated when you were 9.
Yeah.
You're there, you grew up there. How did you fall into cooking?
Oh, goodness gracious. Do we don't hear that story? No.
Yeah. We got a long time. Settle up. Tell us the real truth.
I was not the greatest student in school.
Okay.
I was what they would call a degenerate in high school. I cut class a lot.
Okay.
I think, because I think I just had a lot of ADD and I just couldn't pay attention.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
I couldn't sit still, couldn't pay attention, so I cut class a lot to go I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I got kicked out the first high school I went to.
Yeah.
I finished my last 2 years of high school in Long Island, Queens, Long Island. And there was a culinary program there. And I had to make up some credits because I cut out of school. And I was like, it was either culinary or computer. I was like, I am not doing computer. So I went to culinary program, and this is when Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential first came out.
Yeah.
And and it was just like this whole book was about like rock and roll and like cooking, and, like sharp knives and hot fires and partying. I was like, oh, I want that. That's what I want.
Rock star life.
I want that rock star life. But once I started cooking, I just kind of really fell in love. Not so much with the food itself, but the hospitality part. It's like growing up in Beijing and moving to the States, where it was just my parents and I, and from my mom, they really took care of the family, right? It's like you didn't have a lot, but you made sure your family was taken care of. So that hospitality, the idea of taking care of people, either through food or through just through your generosity, that's what got me into cooking. Like I really wanted to take care of people. So I think that's the biggest reason why I started like seriously cooking after culinary school. Was like, I really wanted to just spread that hospitality.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And I think it's interesting because Julia Child said, she goes, food people are the best people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true. Like, when you think about a chef and you think about Bourdain, you think about that movement, you think, I don't know, hard punk rocker with tattoos, but the reality, every chef at their core, we just want to make people feel good.
Oh,
we just
absolutely.
want to give them comfort and love and memories and it comes from a place of nurture.
Absolutely.
And so I can totally relate to that, and I think it's beautiful. All right, so we're stirring these, which look already amazing. Should I add a little bit?
Time, more stock.
Feed you a little bit?
Give me a little baby bird it.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
By the way, you can smell the soy, and you can actually smell the rice.
Yeah.
It's really floral.
Carolina Gold rice is I kind of compare it to almost like jasmine, that very floral rice.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful rice.
It's really good. All right, I'm going to turn that down and just let that kind of stew.
Perfect.
So that's happening. What is next step, my man?
So we're going to make this shrimp dish.
Okay.
This is kind of inspired by Singapore crab. That sweet, slightly spicy, very tangy chili sauce.
Okay.
And then we're going to put that with the shrimp on top of the rice grits, and then just ended it with some of this beautiful country ham from Lady Edison.
So excited.
Which is, I know. Do you want?
Yes, I do.
You want snacky ham?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a little snacky ham.
Oh my gosh. So ham. This is a big deal.
Country ham is so big.
That's a big deal, right?
In the
really
South.
special ingredient.
Oh, absolutely. Lady Edison is one of my favorites, just because it has.
Hold on. I need to hold on to something.
Are you okay? You dizzy?
What is that?
So that's just country ham. That's just old school
just
country
salt
ham.
Pig.
Salt pig. Yeah. But
it's
the perfect balance of
not
like
smoked.
aging. Like it's just good amount of salt in there,
more.
and like just the texture is insane.
This is like, okay, forget prosciutto. Like prosciutto to me falls short. This is really buttery, really clean finish.
Yeah.
Unbelievably deep, rich flavor.
Yeah. And like
nutty. It's nutty.
Yeah, people are big on prosciutto.
Whoa.
People aren't big on Spanish hams, but Southern country ham. There's nothing to turn your head about.
Go to South Carolina just for the ham.
Yeah,
I'm calling that out right
now.
now.
Do a ham tour.
Do a ham tour. All right. I love it. Wow.
So we're gonna start this pan.
You want it ripping or no? You good?
A
little higher?
like a little medium situation.
Take a little medium.
Yeah,
Maybe a little medium. All right.
Started with a little just neutral oil.
Okay.
Canola, vegetable, avocado, just not olive oil.
Okay.
Just something on the high heat point, you know?
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit, just enough to kind of coat the bottom.
Yep.
You don't want it too greasy. Now we're gonna start with a little bit of shallot.
Okay. And by the way, this might not be the first time that you've seen, this unbelievable chef cook. You might have noticed him from Top Chef.
I might have done that.
You might have seen Shuai at Top Chef.
A little smidgen of Top Chef.
Shuai took it all the way to the finals of Top Chef.
Yeah.
And became very well known around the country through his stint there. Was that just a crazy experience?
That was an absolutely insane experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was.
Turn it down a little bit here.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I was slightly dreading it before going because I never ever competed in anything in my life. My mom did not let me compete for things because she was afraid that.
Well, you were saying sports was not like a big.
No,
thing
not
in
for
your house.
Asian cultures. Like you go to piano class, you go to your SAT prep. Art classes, like the very typical kind of Asian programs. So competing was hard for me to do because I'm one of those people who are like, oh, everyone deserves to win.
Yes, yeah. You're not super competitive.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit this little tiny bit of stock as well.
I love it. So far we added some ginger,
garlic, shallot,
Okay.
a little bit of Thai style sweet chili sauce.
Wow.
A little sambal for a little heat.
Wow.
And we're gonna add a little bit of gochujang as well. I like gochujang because it's fermented.
Yeah.
It has a lot of depth to it, and it's not just straight heat.
So 3 different kind of chili pastes, basically.
Yeah, you got your spicy one, you got your kind of slightly sweet tangy one, and then you got this gochujang, which adds a lot of backbone to it.
Yeah, it's like funk. It's like blue cheese.
Very
it's
funky.
very interesting.
Yeah,
wow, look at that. Look at this come together. It's like this gorgeous glaze. And I'm loving this kind of melding of your upbringing in Beijing, bring it to New York, and then threading through the history of South Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna add a tiny bit of vinegar to that as well.
Cool.
Just for a little tartness.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, I know there's questions about Top Chef. Are people freaking out? By the way, I have to call it out. I know it's public, but this shouldn't surprise you. But because the Carolinas or so, South Carolina is so synonymous with food.
Yeah.
Top Chef is actually the next season is filming.
Yeah.
In South Carolina.
Wait, this is the first time I'm hearing of
really?
this. Yeah.
So they're
where was
going to
I?
the Carolinas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it is going to be set. And again, it's because they can tell there's so much for them to sink their teeth into.
Yeah.
They don't go to locations unless there's a lot to say. Again, we just want to say this is where it's at. In this country, a heartbeat of food just rests beautifully in South Carolina.
Yeah, they're going to Charlotte and Greenville.
Wow.
Just so much good things, and it's about time that Carolinas get on the map.
Dude, trust me, it deserves every bit a piece of it. All right. So there's our little glaze. We've got our unbelievable. Anything to do with these, or just let them hang?
I think just let them hang, give
These
it a little
look-
stir.
You're happy with these?
We want to kind of try it now, just to make sure those grains are cooked all the way
give it a
through.
shot.
So, chefs, for this recipe, Donna's asking, are we going to be making a sauce for putting over the shrimp and grits? And also, is shrimp and grits classically, does that include a sauce, or it's shrimp on grits? You're the expert.
It kind of depends on, honestly, where you have it. There's a lot of places that do, they call it gravy.
Yeah.
So it's like a tomato-based
Yeah.
sauce with
Yeah.
ham inside the gravy. And then, so this is going to be our sauce for the shrimp. We're gonna toss the shrimp in the sauce and let it just very lightly poach in there.
Yes.
I don't like to sear it too much. The searing kind of, it feels like it ruins the texture outside the shrimp. This will give you that still nice bouncy poached shrimp flavor.
Yeah. Pillowy.
Pillowy, yeah, nice bounce. So we're gonna basically put the shrimp in here and have this to be the sauce for the rice grits.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. and
So
turn it
you're
back
on.
up a
So
little
just
bit.
so everyone knows, when you make this, and again, the recipe is all here if you want to make this at home. Where is the recipe, Mary? Is it in the chat?
So our recipe, you can see it with your eyes here and hear us, and then you can also go to homemadecooking.com.
Yep.
And I'll throw the link in the chat as well. But we have all sorts of recipes up there, but these three in particular, these are exclusive South Carolina recipes that our three chefs have designed themselves. I just think it's so fun to talk to. I mean, I love talking to our culinary producer, Meg, about how she develops recipes. It's exciting what you're doing here, Shuai,
It's really
with the
interesting.
flavors.
Each chef that we've brought on today, and Shuai no different, it's just so, I don't know. It's really special to see how you guys kind of come up with this. I think it's amazing, again, how you threaded through your whole life into this and into this approach.
Yeah.
Shuai, it's unbelievable.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So these are poaching.
Yeah.
And they're just, you can see they're already starting to cook.
Yeah.
And I like how delicate that's happening.
I like to do my shrimp, honestly, just a little bit on the medium side.
Really?
I mean, South Carolina, like our shrimp, I've used local shrimp from the same shrimp company since we moved there 10 years ago. And they're just so fresh.
Yes.
That,
There's a clean finish to them.
It's so clean. It's like, if you eat like a really amazing, well, you guys know about salmon over here, right?
Yeah,
You don't want your salmon well done.
No, we
it's
don't.
terrible.
No,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like medium rare
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
We actually judge people who ask for it to be well done. And when I serve it and people are like, ooh, this is still under, and I'm like, leave the table. This is a beautiful way of treating shrimp. I've never really done it where you're just kind of slowly stewing it.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It's just that searing gets a little bit of a rubbery sometimes, especially like if you're reducing to a sauce.
Yeah.
So I'm just more of a fan of just like lightly poaching it and finishing it in the sauce itself. So
I
just
love
let
it.
that slowly get cooked through.
So we've been talking to each chef about kind of their home. And Shuai, you've made, obviously, South Carolina your home.
I have.
And so why? Like, there's 50 other states. There's a million places you could go back to Beijing. Like, why? And what does it mean to you?
When we first moved down from New York, it was such a nice change of pace, like away from the hustle and bustle, the constant, like, just always, I don't know, just always running around for everything, even on your day off. I got to go do laundry, but I got to get it done in an hour.
Yeah.
So Charleston has just been it just slowed down a lot. And it's a lot of firsts in Charleston, the day that I went to culinary school was like, when I'm 30, I want to open a restaurant.
Really?
That was my biggest goal.
Really?
And I think we opened Jack Rabbit Philly when I was 31.
Wow.
So my first restaurant was in Charleston. I got married in Charleston.
Dude.
Bought my first home in Charleston.
Oh my God.
So it was like a lot of firsts, and then just like, I don't know, just have a very special place in my heart. And I mean, it's just also just beautiful. We're 10-minute drive from 3 gorgeous beaches. And like, the weather, I mean, I guess it's hot right now, but outside in Seattle right now, that's our fall.
Yeah. It's so mild year round.
It really
for the
is,
most part.
And then like all the amazing farmers and produce and seafood, just surrounded by just wonderful things.
It's interesting because those are 3 really big life moments.
Oh,
to
for sure.
open your business, to get married, to buy your home.
Yeah.
Those are, and for a lot of people that's stressful. And for you, it sounds like you found home, you found your people.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep hearing about South Carolina, is that it's a warm, welcoming community.
Yeah.
These are people that, are excited to have you here.
Yeah.
And have your back during these, what could be chaos. It's not easy. It's not stressful to open a restaurant or buy your first house. That's a big investment. These are big moments, but the community's got your back. And if you live in a place that has that, which South Carolina has that in droves, makes a big difference.
It really does. And the food and beverage community is just amazing there.
Really?
The
chefs.
The chefs are just, everyone's got your back. It's that Southern hospitality. It's pretty incredible. I mean, like, New York was just so cutthroat, like you survive or you get left behind. Kind of thing, so, yeah.
And it really does have this regionality to it. We talked quickly about Myrtle Beach and Hilton Head. I don't know if anyone said in the chat if they've ever been to those places. When I went to Hilton Head, it's very different than when I went, to Charleston. Very different vibe.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's, again, South Carolina has these little regions within itself that is worth going and visiting, road tripping, checking out, researching. They all have their own little moment. And I love. All right, so we're back to the congee.
Just a tiny bit
more.
you
saw that it was just the rice took in a little bit more of the liquid, so you're just adding more.
Yeah, you don't want it too tight and it gets like kind of gummy and turns into this giant rice ball.
But
so
you're not looking for congee.
No, you're not really looking for congee because at the end of the day, you're still looking for like rice grits. Right?
Yeah. That looks so good, and I appreciate no cheese going in.
Well, I don't know. I'm a little weird about cheese and seafood.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't even think this needs cheese. Think about congee, you know.
You and me both, Shuai. Cheese and seafood. What are we doing?
Hot take. Hot take from Shuai.
I'm not a blackened salmon Alfredo kind of person, you know.
I love it. These look pretty close.
Yeah, these are actually great. You know, if you give them a feel, like they have a little bit of give still.
Oh yeah.
But maybe like another 30 seconds, they'll be there.
Oh my God, that sauce.
Yeah.
Holy. Just breathing in that sauce. I want to take a bath in it. This is
so it's like spicy but tart and sweet, and it's a lot of that ginger flavor. So this is kind of like our take on a Singapore style chili crab sauce.
Dude, it's perfect. And can I also say that I really smell the shrimp? There's a lot going on in here. The ginger, the garlic, everything. But the shrimp, if I close my eyes, this is seafood. This is South Carolina at its best. These look amazing. All right, those look awesome. Take us home, baby. How do we do this?
I think we're just gonna do a little plating now.
Okay. Richard, can we get in close here? Yeah, let's make sure that we can make sure everyone can see this beautifully. These look okay. Hit us.
Love it. So we're gonna start with a little bed of these rice grits.
Oh my gosh! Stop it! Just stop it!
All right, just a little.
The texture's perfect, where it's kind of thick.
Yeah, thick but not too thick. Still, see that's this one you'll be able to taste every individual grain. It's still separate. You know, it's just very important for rice.
Is this on the menu at one of the restaurants?
It is not. Unfortunately, we're just
exclusive. Exclusive alert.
You're so VIP. I'm only. So
you should add this to the menu, man. This is incredible.
We're gonna add a couple of pieces of shrimp in here. Make sure you get a good amount of that sauce in there as well.
So good. I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking the fact that you're allowing this to be kind of like a homemade exclusive.
Yeah.
You for the past year and for the next remainder of the year, you're a South Carolina chef ambassador.
Yeah.
What has that been like, and what does that kind of mean to you?
It's been very incredible. I think most people, come to Charleston, they come to South Carolina, they think, oh yeah, we're just, there's fried chicken, there's shrimp and grits, there's like all these classic Charlestonian or South Carolina things, and which is all delicious and it's great, and there's a lot of history behind it. But South Carolina is so much more than that. There's all these different cuisines down there, and it's honestly growing so fast, and there's the diversity has been growing so much as well. I think there's just so much more to explore.
Really?
Just like the typical things you think of like a city when you go to it.
Yeah.
Like New York is more than just pizza and bagels.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Same with South Carolina. South Carolina is so much more than just shrimp and grits and fried chicken.
Yes.
Yes.
So
we're just gonna finish this with a little drapery of country ham.
Oh my gosh! Tuck me in bed in this.
A veil of country ham, if you will.
This is our new duvet at home.
Is that a thing?
Can you sleep under country ham?
Yeah.
Yes, you can knit this together.
Can we go back to the veil of country ham?
Veil of country ham.
The
gorgeous.
Veil. Look
just
how
gorgeous.
beautiful this looks.
Just a little fresh scallion. I like that little raw onion bite.
Yeah. Oh, so stunning.
And a little texture, just a little sesame seeds.
I love. Sesame seeds, by the way, are a big deal down there, right?
Bene seeds.
Bene.
Yeah. They're like not as. They're a little more. I feel like a little more mellow.
Okay.
So it has a little. It works balances really well with other ingredients on the dish, but it's not as strong toasty and sesame as a
sesame seed. Not as pronounced. Can we just take a moment? I mean, this is just Richard. I'm going to hold this up for you to see, and I'll put it for a top down real quick, but you guys can see it's just. You can't even see the shrimp and grits. It's hidden under the country ham.
Secret shrimp.
Secret shrimp, but look at that. This is shrimp and grits, and to me, this is America. This is someone from Beijing who immigrated here, who lived through New York, landed at home, which is South Carolina, and made that onto a plate.
Yeah.
And took a classic like shrimp and grits and brought in his grandma, brought in his tradition, treated the shrimp, the local shrimp, with the same respect that he thought it should be treated. There's so much here to unpack, but it's such a simple, beautiful bite. Yeah. So thank you. Let's dig in. Let's dig in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Gonna grab it. We both gotta try this. This is unreal. All right, so a little bit of that.
Shrimp here.
People at home, I'm sure, are dying.
Yeah, enjoy, gentlemen. Enjoy
Oh.
up there.
That's surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good at his own dish. Let's talk about it.
See, it's got that little bit of heat.
I'm not. I refuse
Like
to talk.
he's in physical pain eating this. It's so good. Poor Joel.
Okay, the sauce is like. The sauce is a different level.
Thank you.
The sauce is really layered, like really layered. It's tangy.
Yeah.
It's spicy, but not too spicy. It's just got that sweet finish.
Yeah.
And it is familiar. It's like I've had this before, and it maybe has been on the crab dish.
Right.
But it's also clean and new.
Yeah.
The grits catch it. It's like this vessel. To your point,
right?
So comfortable. I could just eat the grits.
Yeah,
I mean, the
thank
grits
you.
are
Yeah.
so. The texture of these grits destroy, in
Yeah.
my mind, any normal grits. Like
Thank
it's
you.
so smart to take the Midlands. Is that
Yeah.
what, yeah, the Midlands?
The Midlands, yeah.
Oh, and let me just say, the texture on the shrimp is like velvet.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like it almost melts in your mouth because you treated it and cooked it so slowly,
Yeah.
so it didn't seize up.
Right. Yeah, because that's my perfect texture of shrimp. Yeah.
And then the finish with the country ham. Get out of town. You are a really talented chef.
Thank you, chef. Thank
This
you so
is
much.
really, really special. Thanks for sharing it
Oh my
with
gosh,
us.
thank you for having me.
You are a rock star.
Thank you.
All of you guys, all the chef ambassadors that stopped by, unbelievable. What a sweet finish. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Shuai,
Thank
you're
you.
incredible. You're awesome. You guys, we spent the past 3 hours being live, telling stories, highlighting chefs, different places, all the way from Greenville to Charleston to Myrtle Beach to Hilton Head to Columbia. We learned why Top Chef is stopping by. We got just a brief taste of the rich, unbelievably deep and complex traditions that South Carolina brings to the table every single time. You need to go to this website. We're going to put it in the chat, but it is the Discover South Carolina website. You can plan your itinerary. You can go research these guys. Check out what's happening. The food scene is just buzzing all over. The little regions, the different stories, the piece of culture that we just all need to go discover. So it is there. It is waiting for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been so much fun. And if you like what you're doing here, subscribe to Homemade. We are here every day live, teaching you how to cook. Thanks so much. Again, Mary, you rock. Thank you to Discover South Carolina. We will catch you next time. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much, everybody. See ya.